County. Next, another special News Radio WGNS broadcast.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. Blue Raider baseball is on the air. From the Blue Raider Network, it's time for Countdown to First Pitch. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance and agent Andy Womack, Lightning's Locker Room and Phillips Bookstore, Granis and Associates, Las Casas Drugs, and by Middle Tennessee Electric. Now, let's go to the ballpark.
They say everything's bigger in Texas, and tonight we're getting ready to kick off what might be the biggest Conference USA series of the season for MTSU. Series wins on the road have been tough to come by this year, but there is a belief and desire to win inside this Blue Raider squad that will not be quelled. And tonight, they look to turn that spark into a full-blown inferno. In the heat of a Texas evening, we're going to write the first chapter of a 3-day story between the Sam Houston Bearcats and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Dylan Simmons with you on the call tonight, and welcome in here on WGNS and the Blue Raider Network from Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas, where we are set for a fantastic series opening game between two teams eager to stake their claim for a spot in the CUSA tournament. Right now in the CUSA standings, these two teams separated by just one game. And with the competitive nature of the conference this year, any loss at any point in time could take you from a sure bet to out of the tournament race altogether. That's why there has never been a more important time to put it all together than right now. Your Blue Raiders are coming off a series sweep against Delaware at home last weekend, in which they dominated on their way to remaining undefeated in home series this season. However, with that dominance in Murfreesboro, there have also been some struggles on the road that MTSU is still trying to overcome. They have lost series on the road to some of the best teams in the conference, like Louisiana Tech, Missouri State, and Jacksonville State. However, they feel like tonight they have everything they need to flip their road narrative on its head and start the series off with a Texas-sized statement here at Sam Houston. MTSU's had some pretty solid bats as of late. That's been a big part of their success, has been their timely hitting, and we saw just how big it was against Delaware last weekend. Of course, there are always several players to keep an eye on, but I think one of the top ones that I want to start off with tonight is Dean O'Neill, senior out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, with a .325 batting average on the season, one of the top averages in Conference USA, tied for fourth in hits in CUSA right now, number 3 in RBIs as well, with 45 total, and 10 home runs, which is also top 10 in the conference. Actually spoke with Dean before the game. You'll get to hear that later on in our pregame show. But he is certainly feeling confident, and he should. There are also several other guys that you'll want to watch out for if you're a Blue Raider fan tonight. Tyler Minnick is another guy that I'm keeping an eye on. A .282 average on the season, 36 RBIs, 14 runs, and 44 total hits for the senior out of Smyrna, Georgia so far this year. And of course, he started all 55 games for MTSU last year and has started all 41 this season, so maybe on his way to back-to-back seasons starting every single game. Right now, MTSU, number 6 in the conference in total batting average at an average of .281 as a team. So still in the upper half of the conference. They have cooled off a little bit statistically offensively. However, they're still one of the best home run teams in the Conference USA, tied for third in home runs, as a matter of fact, with 48 total. They're also good in extra base hits in general, fourth in doubles with 84. As far as pitching goes, MTSU number 4 in team ERA with a 4.81 team earned run average, 8th in hits allowed at 375, and tied for third in earned runs allowed at 186. So overall, they make you earn it if you're the opposing team for MTSU. It's very hard to get a run on them, at least early on in games. Late in games, they've had some contests get away from them by some late mistakes. They'll be hoping to avoid that tonight, and they'll be hoping that the man on the mound, who we'll get into a little bit later, David Horn Jr., can help them to accomplish just that. Their opponent tonight, the Sam Houston Bearcats, 18-23 overall on the season, 7-11 in CUSA play. They're coming off a series sweep in Las Cruces against the New Mexico State Aggies. And they have several key players that will also make life very difficult on MTSU tonight. Jarrett Curtis is a guy that stands out in a big way to me, a 331 average on the season, 13 RBIs, 28 runs, 46 hits, team leader in batting average, hits, and doubles. The transfer out of Missouri is certainly going to be a guy that can do some damage against MTSU here tonight. And another guy, Ryan Frandon, redshirt junior out of Katy, Texas, went to Seven Lakes High School, number 1 on the team in RBIs with 26, and tied for second in home runs with 6 total. He had 2 hits versus New Mexico State on April 19th last week, and 3 runs batted in versus Western Kentucky back on March 28th. Was actually CUSA Hitter of the Week thanks to his performance against McNeese State in Sam Houston's series opening, or I should say season opening series on the year. As a team, Sam Houston is the number 11 batting team in Conference USA with a 248 team average, number 11 in hits with 324, number 10 in runs, 215. They haven't statistically been the best offensive team in CUSA play. However, I was talking to some guys before we got on the air, Jason Barfield, as a matter of fact, who's the TV commentator for Sam Houston, and he's told me that the bats, especially against New Mexico State, started to heat up a little bit, and they may be turning a corner as we get further and further into the month of April, so perhaps we'll see if that plays a role tonight against MTSU. Pitching-wise, Sam Houston is a little bit better, number 7 in team ERA at 5.89, number 9 in hits allowed at 379, number 8 in earned runs in the conference with 229 allowed. As far as series history goes between these two teams, Sam Houston leads the all-time series 4-3. They only faced off, like I said, 7 times in total. MTSU did get the win last year in Murfreesboro in the series, actually sweeping Sam Houston in what was a pretty tough season for the Bearcats. They were 12-43 a season ago. They've already made huge strides this season, so make no mistake about it. If you were at the series last year in Murfreesboro, this is a completely different Sam Houston team that has revamped their roster and brought in a lot of guys who've certainly made an impact. They actually brought in 18 new players this past season, 9 transfers and 9 freshmen. So this Bearcats team has a lot of new experience, and they put that to good use. We'll see if they put that to good use tonight against MTSU. And, of course, the CUSA standings, like we mentioned before, are going to be a huge factor to watch all weekend long. MTSU currently 6th in the conference with an 8-10 record overall. But right below them, it is absolute mayhem. There are 4 teams with a 7-11 conference record, and one of those teams is Sam Houston. So, if we get down towards the middle of May and towards that final weekend of the regular season, having a tiebreaker over Sam Houston could be massive for MTSU. You always want to make sure that you have your cards in front of you and you're able to have a bit of an advantage over one of your competitors in the long run. We'll see if MTSU is able to start that process tonight here on the road in Huntsville against the Bearcats. All right, we're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from Dean O'Neill about what MTSU needs to do to get a series opening win here in Texas tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here to the Lone Star State on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's Locker Room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's Locker Room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit ChooseChip.net. And let's make your 2026 move the right move.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
A little bit of Lenny Kravitz over the loudspeakers here in Huntsville tonight at Don Sanders Stadium. Dylan Simmons with you for what should be a fantastic series opening night between the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders and the Sam Houston Bearcats. Well, before first pitch today, I got to talk to Dean O'Neill, the top hitter statistically right now for MTSU, and he's had a pretty great stretch as of late. I wanted to kind of gauge his mind and see what he thought he and the team needed to do to get a big win here on the road tonight in enemy territory. So here is what Dean O'Neill had to say. All right, with Dean O'Neill, the MTSU baseball team. Dean, you and the team looked very dominant in that series win over Delaware last weekend. How do you feel like that helped you guys build momentum as far as the rest of the CUSA schedule goes?
Yeah, even before the Delaware series, I do think that the Belmont game that we had, that we won in extras, kick-started the momentum we needed to take down Delaware in 3. And overall, I think that has really helped, not just the momentum, but our confidence as a whole as well, knowing that we can compete at that level that we can and be able to get wins, make competitive pitches, and hit and have timely hitting. I think that kickstarts us for the rest of the season.
It's all about taking it one game at a time. Now, just standing out here in the middle of this field right now, it is a hot day today here in Central Texas. Yes. How are you guys going to compete with that heat and deal with it today?
Well, a lot of these guys are from down south, so it doesn't really faze them too much. But northern boy like me, this is getting to me a little bit. But it's nothing that we can't handle before. We've all played some hot games, but we just gotta not really think about it. It's gonna suck, but we just gotta get through it.
Well, let's turn our attention to the man you guys are going to be facing off against on the mound for Sam Houston, yes, Mr. Ryan Peterson, one of the best pitchers in all of CUSA. How do you guys generate consistent offense against a pitcher of that caliber?
Yeah, right. We just got to stick to our approaches, make the simple things simple, keep them simple, and stick to what we know best, which is just hitting a baseball. At the end of the day, he's human too. He's going to mess up and make mistakes, and you got to be able to capitalize on those mistakes.
Appreciate that confidence. Yeah. Now, MTSU is still looking for that big CUSA Road Series win this year, and although it hasn't happened yet, I heard someone say yesterday that it only takes one for this team. Is that the kind of attitude that everyone's got going into this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the vibes are up because we're walking into a place, like you said earlier, with a sweep under our belt. It's home, but we can absolutely do it. We've proven it time and time again. We just fell 1 or 2 pitches short. That's all it is. If we just stick to playing our game, then we're going to be able to get over that road hump.
All right, well, let's put all of our chips on the table here.
Absolutely.
What's it going to take for MTSU to get a win tonight against the Bearcats?
Just stick to our approach and having fun when it comes down to it. Baseball's a game, so once you just have fun playing the game that we all love the most, good times will come.
Should be a great night of baseball action. Dean,
Yes,
good
sir.
luck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, that was Dean O'Neill of the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, and we appreciate Dean taking some time to talk to us this evening about this upcoming game and just what it means for MTSU. Obviously, you could tell that with him and really the rest of this team as well, there is a lot of focus and a lot of determination and a lot of hope for tonight's contest. We're going to take one more 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have more baseball here from Sam Houston on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. From the Blue Raider Network and Van Wagner College, it's time for Middle Tennessee State University baseball. Today's game is brought to you in part by Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates, and agents Brad Hopkins, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Harmon, and Chip Walters, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and by Middle Tennessee State University. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Blue Raider baseball.
And indeed it is time for Blue Raider baseball here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Dylan Simmons with you tonight in the Lone Star State as the Blue Raiders and the Bearcats get set to square off. It's time to present our Ascend starting lineups. Ascend Federal Credit Union is the exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics. Learn more at ascend.org. We will start with the Sam Houston Bearcats tonight. They'll have Ryan Frandon leading off in their order. He'll be over at third base. Jarrett Curtis, a guy that I talked about in the pregame show, he'll be at center field. Cade Corcoran will be over at first base. Nathan Fink is the designated hitter tonight. Sean Basmore is in right field. Wes Baker is the catcher. Hunter Alvord is the shortstop. Kirby Orff is the left fielder, and Jace Martinez will be the second baseman for the Bearcats. And on the mound for Sam Houston tonight will, of course, be the exemplary Ryan Peterson. Meanwhile, for your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, they've got the usual suspects out there ready to go. Owen Nowak will be in center field tonight. Nathan Brewer will be in left field. Brett Rogers will be in right field. Clay Badalak is the shortstop. Brett Von Dolan is the third baseman. Dean O'Neill is the first baseman. Cooper Clapp is the second baseman. Tyler Minnick is behind the dish. And on the mound tonight for MTSU will be David Horn Jr., who's become the Friday starter as of late for the Blue Raiders and has done a really good job in slotting into that role. Those are your Ascend starting lineups. And again, we appreciate Ascend for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. Middle Tennessee will start on offense, and they will take on the incredible Ryan Peterson, who, again, has been nothing short of really immaculate this season. I'm running out of adjectives to describe him with. A 2.77 ERA, 4-4 record, 61 2/3 innings pitched. That is the most innings pitched in the conference. This will be his 11th appearance of the season. No question the ace of the staff for Sam Houston. He also has the most strikeouts of anybody in the conference as well, 79 total, and he just recently was named a semifinalist for the National Baseball Hall of Fame Pitcher of the Year award. So, again, if you needed any more convincing that this guy can't get the job done, well, I think that we've heard as much as we can. Again, he has faced off well against basically everyone he's played so far this season, and I've got a little history with Mr. Peterson myself, as a matter of fact. I was a broadcaster for the Matsu Miners Alaska Baseball League team a couple of summers ago, and who did you think was on that team? Ryan Peterson was. He was on the mound, and he was incredible back then. Always felt like he was going to have the capability to be a star in Conference USA. He was a freshman for Sam Houston at that point, and over these last couple of years, he has really come into his own and showed out for the Bearcats. However, Middle Tennessee's got their own guys who have been showing out in a big way as of late. Again, Owen Nowak is going to lead off the order tonight. The junior out of Franksville, Wisconsin, has a .324 average on the season, 28 RBIs, and 41 total runs, which is fifth in Conference USA. He's also tied for fifth in walks drawn in CUSA at 31, so don't underrate that aspect of his game as well. He'll be followed by Lane Akers, the raker, the designated hitter in the 2 spot. Cooper Clapp will be at second base, and he'll be right behind them in the 3rd spot. And, of course, Tyler Minnick is the cleanup man as the catcher. Those are the first 4 for Middle Tennessee against Ryan Peterson and the Bearcats. MTSU with their black shirts tonight, gray pants, Sam Houston in all white with the orange lettering down the front. And we're just about set to get this Friday night baseball classic underway from the Lone Star State and Huntsville, Texas. Peterson's first pitch of the night is a fastball to the outside, and we officially start baseball at 6:36 Central Time. A little bit behind schedule here in Texas, but that just means that this could be an even more special night. Counts 1-0 as that pitch was outside. Check swing by Nowak, and that pitch finds its mark. It's a nice breaking ball to even the count at 1-1. One thing that Peterson has is consistency in his speed, and we expect to see a lot of that tonight. Nowak sends a fly ball out to left field, and then it drifts towards the Bearcats clubhouse for a foul. Count goes to 1-2. Of course, Owen Nowak, one of the most consistent hitters, not just for MTSU, but in all of Conference USA, has started every game this season. Counts 1-2. Peterson's pitch, 93 miles per hour, nice fastball, but places it high, and the count evens at 2-2. Good recognition from Nowak to avoid that, not swing at it. 2-2. And Nowak sends a fly ball deep to center field. Trailing back and making the catch is Jarrett Curtis for out 1. Ball looked pretty good off the bat, but drifted more towards left center. That left Curtis an easy opportunity to catch it. So that will retire the leadoff batter, and it will send on Lane Akers, the designated hitter for Middle Tennessee. And we talked with Dean O'Neill in the pregame about the heat. It's somewhat dissipated as time's gone on, but make no mistake, it's still in the mid-80s out there. Peterson's pitch, perfectly done for a strike, 93 miles per hour again. He'll be reaching those speeds virtually the entire night, and he's been able to go pretty far before. Here is a fly ball deep to right center field. Curtis back again and makes the catch right before the warning track for out 2. And that one looked pretty good at the start, looked pretty dangerous for Akers. However, it just didn't quite have the distance that it needed. The corners here at Don Sanders Stadium are pretty short, 330 to both left field and right field. Dead center, though, you got 400 with a big wall that you got to get over as well, higher up than the other parts of the wall. So 2 away here in the top of the first. That sends on Cooper Clapp, and he watches that pitch go by for a strike. Counts 0-1. Said it before, but MTSU's got a lot of lefty batters in the order again, and that could be something that Peterson hasn't seen a lot of this season. But he's handling it well right now. Fires in another fastball for a strike. Count goes to 0-2. Trying to get a 1-2-3 inning on the Blue Raiders is Ryan Peterson. 0-2 pitch. Another fastball, zips it, high and tight. Count goes to 1-2. He's been using that fastball quite a bit in the early going. I'd say we'll see that most of the night. 1-2 pitch is chopped on the right side, and that will be a fair ball, and it'll be picked up by Corcoran for the out. So that will do it for our first inning. MTSU gets 1-2-3 against the Bearcats. Won't do it for the first inning, but it will do it for this frame, and it sends us to the bottom half of the first with your score 0-0. Back in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Back here in Huntsville, Texas at Don Sanders Stadium, your score after the first frame of the game, 0-0. MTSU getting 1-2-3 by Ryan Peterson and the Sam Houston Bearcats. But never fear, David Horn Jr. is here, and he's got a lot he's looking to prove tonight on the road against this Bearcats lineup. David Horn Jr. with a 5.24 ERA on the season, 44 2/3 innings pitched, and currently number 7 in Conference USA in strikeouts with 52 total. He had his best performance of the season a week ago tonight against Delaware back in Murfreesboro with a season-high 8 1/3 innings pitched and 9 strikeouts against the Blue Hens. Of course, came in originally from UC San Diego, from Mission Viejo, California, and he has become a true key piece on this Blue Raider roster. Now he gets his chance to prove it on the road here in Texas tonight against this Bearcats squad. Ryan Frandon will be leading off the Bearcats in this inning. Frandon out of Katy, Texas. Redshirt junior, we talked about him in the pregame. One of the top threats in this lineup for Sam Houston tonight. 313 average, 26 RBIs. 22 runs and 6 homers on the season. And it's imperative for MTSU to make sure that he doesn't get this Bearcats offense rolling early. Horn Jr.'s first pitch of the game is going to be low, and the count will be 1-0 on the 89-mile-per-hour fastball. Good crowd on hand here tonight at Don Sanders Stadium. This ball will be lifted up to shallow center field. Nowak racing after it, and he does come in to make the catch. Had to run a pretty good distance to get it. That was good communication as well as Badalak was coming over just to be safe, but Nowak able to clear it out, so 1 down here in the bottom half of the first. That will send on maybe the best hitter on this Sam Houston squad. Jarek Curtis, a .331 average on the season, 13 RBIs, 28 runs. Team leader in several categories. Sends a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Curtis racing around, and he'll get to first base easily for a leadoff single. He didn't show a lot of stopping ability as he went past first base. He was heading right for second. At first it looked like, but he's got some explosive speed, and he's not the only one on this Sam Houston roster that has that. I expect we'll see him maybe attempt to steal a base right here. That sends on the next man in the order, Cade Corcoran, the first baseman, with Curtis over at first. And Horn Jr. going to attempt to get him out on the base path as he throws back to first to O'Neill. Curtis quickly got back in the nick of time. Corcoran standing in, the lefty batter. We'll watch this pitch come in high, and the count goes to 1-0. Corcoran, a freshman out of College Station, Texas, home of the Aggies, played at College Station High School, but came over here to Huntsville to play for Sam Houston. Team leader in total bases with 62 this season, but he's very aggressive at the plate, has struck out 45 times. Most of anybody on this roster, and a swing and a miss right here. Counts 1-1. Of course, when you're a freshman, you're going to naturally be a little more aggressive at the plate, I'd imagine. Maybe the young mindset. But if he's already this good as a freshman, you can only imagine how good he may become. MTSU not concerned about that right now, though. Horn Jr. again tries to get Curtis out. Unsuccessful. Bearcats' bats have gotten better as this season has continued on. Looked great against New Mexico State in Las Cruces, even further west last weekend. Now trying to bring that back here to Texas. 1-1 count. This pitch is inside. Nearly a hit by pitch on Cade Corcoran, and the count goes to 2-1 off that breaking ball. Of course, Horn Jr.'s got a good mixture of fastball and breaking ball at his disposal. Trying to use that to the best of his ability here. And again, he'll try to throw back to first. Not going to be able to get Curtis out. Sam Houston in their third year in Conference USA. Last time these two teams faced off here in Huntsville, Bearcats swept MTSU. Of course, MTSU returned the favor a year ago. We'll see how this series ends up. And again, David Horn Jr. tries to get Curtis out. He's not budging, but he's got a pretty big leadoff over there. And I'm sure Horn Jr. knows his reputation for stealing. Has 18 stolen bases already this season. He's attempted 27 times. And he's going to take off. Here's the throw to second. And they're going to say they got Curtis. No call yet, I don't see. And no, Curtis did steal second base. Umpire didn't make the signal initially, but it looks like Curtis did get in there safe, so a stolen base for Jarek Curtis, number 19 on the year. That was a really nice job by Curtis to get to second base, and it fooled me as well because he took off with such speed that it took a second for Tyler Minnick to react and get the throw over to second base. So Corcoran now with a 2-2 after the strike by Horn Jr. And that is just fouled by Corcoran to keep this at-bat alive. But just like that, Sam Houston has a runner in scoring position with Jarek Curtis. And again, with his speed, you just can't take anything for granted. And we know he'll be willing to take off for third if the situation calls for it. Count still at 2-2. Another foul ball into the netting. Going to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And you got to say this for the young man Corcoran. He's doing a really good job of just staying in the box, continuing on with this count, and if nothing else, he's running David Horn Jr.'s pitch count up, which could prove vital later in this game. Horn Jr. wants to take care of this problem as quickly as he can. 2-2 count, one away runner at second. And Horn Jr. fires a pitch just outside. Count runs full at 3-2. Tried to target that top corner, and he just missed it. So we're going to have a pretty important payoff pitch early in this bottom of the first. Horn Jr. taking his time. 3-2 coming up. And this will be fouled again, and it heads towards the parking lot off the bat of Corcoran, as he tried to lift it into the field of play, but if nothing else, he caught a piece of it to keep this at-bat alive. Again, Horn Jr. tried the breaking ball, but Corcoran is not going down easily. We said he struck out more than anybody else on the team, but he's not showing it right now. 3-2. And guess what? Another foul ball, lifted almost in the same direction above the netting and out of the ballpark. And this has got to be a bit of a frustrating experience for David Horn Jr., just trying to get Corcoran out, but this guy will simply not stay down. Fighting for everything he's got right here. A true war of attrition. 3-2. Breaking ball misses the zone. Ball 4. And 2 runners aboard now for the Bearcats. Corcoran will advance to first with a massively earned walk. And I do mean massively earned, because he had to do everything he could to force David Horn Jr. in that position. And now a bit of a tough spot for the starting pitcher to be in, as he's going to have to deal with Nathan Fink, the DH tonight. Redshirt junior out of Charlottesville, Virginia. Swings and misses here on a nice breaking ball by Horn Jr. Count goes to 0-1. Fink with a .253 average on the season, 16 RBIs, 22 runs. Had a season-high 3 hits last weekend against New Mexico State in the Sunday matchup. Runners go here, swing and a miss. Throw to second is in time to get the out on Corcoran. Sam Houston tried the double steal, but MTSU is ready for it, and a brilliant throw by Tyler Minnick to get the out at second base. Curtis does advance to third, but that's now 2 away here in the bottom of the first. That's what Minnick was looking for earlier, just missed Curtis, not sure why I added a T at the end, over at second base earlier. He gets the out here, and the count's 0-2. Could be a chance to come out of here with no damage. Pitch is low, and called for ball 1. David Horn Jr. has been working in that breaking ball a lot better towards the back half of this frame. Jarrett Curtis 90 feet away from scoring what would be the first run of this contest, but with 2 outs, the margins for error are very slim. Counts 1-2. Horn Jr. Curveball, and he just placed it above the zone. Count evens at 2-2. Excuse me, folks. Got a cough I'm trying to work through tonight. Counts at 2-2. David Horn Jr. looking for his first strikeout of the game right here to end the bottom of the first. The 2-2. This ball is fouled over towards the MTSU dugout. Just went past it. And yet another foul ball. We've seen that a few times in this inning. Bearcats trying to work their way back to be in the discussion for the 6th spot in the CUSA standings. Top 5 are pretty well solidified right now, but that 6th spot on down to about 10th or 11th is pretty wide open at the moment. It's anybody's game as far as that goes. 2-2 pitch is chopped right back to the mound, backhanded by Horn Jr. Underhand toss to first for the out. What a play by David Horn Jr. Had to go back behind himself to make the catch and then take that ball over to first to O'Neal for the out. So the Bearcats get a runner all the way to third, even got 2 runners aboard, but they end up stranding a runner at third base and come up empty. Score is still 0-0. We'll be back for the top of the second in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Through one inning here in Huntsville, Texas. Your score 0-0 on the Blue Raider Network. Dylan Simmons with you tonight in this series opening matchup between the Bearcats and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. MTSU survived a little bit of a scare in the bottom half of the first. Allowed a couple of runners on, and Jarrett Curtis even got to third base, but MTSU got out of the inning thanks to a brilliant throw out by Tyler Minnick, and then a really nice ground out secured by David Horn Jr., the pitcher. And so we play on with a score at 0-0. And the next man at the plate, the cleanup man in the order, Tyler Minnick for MTSU. Blue Raiders got 1-2-3 by Ryan Peterson in the top of the first. Minnick trying to get something going, but Ryan Peterson says not so fast. Fires in a 93-mile-per-hour fastball for a strike. Counts at 0-1. Minnick has been so impressive so far this season. Check swing, called for a strike. Count goes to 0-2 after that off-speed pitch. And again, Peterson's pitches are so consistent in their placement and their speed that it's hard to deal with. This pitch comes in low. Count goes to 1-2. You have to be ready for what he has to handle. But talking to Dean O'Neill earlier, it felt like these Blue Raiders wouldn't be intimidated by that. This pitch is just outside. Having trouble saying outside for some reason. Count goes to 2-2 after another off-speed pitch by Peterson. Minnick standing in strong for now. Another 2-2. Peterson works fast, and again, just outside. Trying to get that right corner, and he can't do it as of right now. Payoff pitch coming up for Tyler Minnick, the senior from Smyrna, Georgia. 3-2, and that's ball four. So after a really nice start to the at-bat, Ryan Peterson fires in 3 straight balls and allows Tyler Minnick to get to first base on a base on balls. So the Blue Raiders have a runner aboard. Minnick over at first base runner of the night for MTSU, but the search for their first hit continues. Maybe this guy can provide that. Brett Rogers, who's been oh so clutch so many times for MTSU this season. One of the best situational hitters on the roster, but Ryan Peterson with another answer, and it's a strike. Counts 0-1, went back to the fastball at 92. Rogers had some success last year against Sam Houston, got a solo home run in Game 1 against the Bearcats in Murfreesboro, and chops this ball foul towards the Bearcats dugout. Count will be 0-2 just like that. So Rogers knows how to get it done against Sam Houston. Ryan Peterson himself has experience against MTSU, pitched against them a year ago in game number 2. Went for 5 innings and 6 strikeouts with just 2 earned runs given up. Not too shabby. 0-2 pitch is just to the outside of that left corner, and the count will be 1-2. Of course, Rogers, another lefty in the order, the third already that MTSU has had tonight against him. And there'll be 2 more coming up after this. 1-2, and another pitch just outside. It seems like Peterson starts out the counts with fastballs down the middle that find their mark, but towards the end, at least in this inning, he tries to find the corner, and it doesn't work quite as well. We'll see if he can sew that up. 2-2. This time he finds exactly what he was looking for. Big-time strikeout on Rogers for out number 1. He went back for the corner on a breaking ball, switched it up a little bit, and found what he needed. So that'll be the first strikeout of the game for either side, and it'll be a strikeout looking on Brett Rogers. That'll bring on the man we talked to in the pregame show, Dean O'Neill, coming to the plate. First baseman for MTSU. Top hitter in several categories. Looking to make a statement tonight. O'Neill fouls this one into the net. Count goes to 0-1. O'Neill with a .325 average, 45 RBIs, third in the conference. Top 10 in the conference in home runs as well. Has started every game this season and has 55 hits to show also. And he's going to ground this one just foul to the right of the first base bag. Count goes to 0-2. Very similar to the situation that Rogers found himself in a second ago. O'Neill, of course, had that fantastic 4 RBI performance against Missouri State on the road back on March 22nd, so knows how to get it done in enemy territory. 0-2 pitch, low and outside for ball 1. Blue Raiders are 21-20 after the loss to Tennessee Tech on Tuesday over in Cookeville. 8-10 in Conference USA, currently sitting at 6th in the conference. 1-2 pitch, and just a little high for Peterson that time on a fastball. Count stays at 2-2. But despite the fact MTSU's in 6th, they understand that they can't rest on their laurels. They got to win, and they got to win this weekend to secure that spot a bit better. Here's a fly ball blasted to center field. It's going to stay in the yard. Curtis back in left center makes the catch for out number 2. That's the third flyout that MTSU's had in this game. Nowak and Akers had one back in the first, and now O'Neill adds one in the top of the second. And every time it's been to that deep part of center field, right where that big wall is at 400 feet, it's going to be hard to get over. Nathan Brewer to the plate, left fielder for MTSU. The sophomore has caught fire at this later juncture of the season at times, as that pitch is going to be called for a strike. A little bit low from Peterson, it looked like to me, but home plate umpire was there to make the call. Liked what he saw. Counts 0-1. Matthew Herrera is the home plate umpire tonight. This pitch is inside for ball number 1. It is Archer Flores Pareda, the first base umpire, and Jareel Proctor is the man over at third base for our umpire crew tonight. Count is at 1-1. Full shadow now over Don Sanders Stadium. Here's a chopper that is just fouled. Count goes to 1-2. That was very close to being a unfortunate ground out for Nathan Brewer. Luckily for him, it didn't stay fair. And I mean, it was foul just barely. It just caught foul ground before it rolled towards the bag. But still a 1-2 with Tyler Minnick at first, trying to get advanced on. 1-2 pitch. There was a little bit of hesitation to swing at that one, and it was good by Brewer. He thought about going for a second, then pulled back. Counts 2-2 as that fastball was high. So a 2-2 coming up for Nathan Brewer. 2 away here in the top of the second. And there's a strikeout looking. Off speed right down the middle for Ryan Peterson. He gets 2 big strikeouts in the frame. And MTSU, despite getting 1 runner on base, comes up empty and comes up hitless once again. And Ryan Peterson starting to heat up at home. Back for the bottom of the second in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons with you on a Friday night. Hey, while we've got a second, folks, we want to thank our friends over at Atmos Energy. Atmos Energy is delighted to sponsor the Blue Raiders and fuel homes and businesses in Middle Tennessee with affordable, efficient, and reliable natural gas for today and generations to come. Natural gas is the smart choice for fueling our energy future. Thank you to Atmos Energy and all of our great sponsors here on the broadcast tonight. Still scoreless here in Huntsville, Texas, as we approach the bottom half of the second inning. David Horn Jr. will retake the mound, and he'll have to play ball against Sean Bazemore. Bazemore, very solid hitter for Sam Houston, maybe not the flashiest in the order, but the junior from Crosby, Texas, certainly knows ball. And he's going to chop one right to third. Von Dolan there makes the play, throws to first, and gets the out. So a pretty quick 5-3 to get things rolling here in the bottom half of the second inning. Bazemore went for it pretty quickly and just didn't have as much on that as he would have wanted to.
Number 5, Wes Baker.
Here comes the catcher, Wes Baker, from not too far down the road in Houston, where the Blue Raiders landed yesterday after their plane flight from Nashville. Freshman, played at Second Baptist High School, and watches a fastball by Horn Jr. come in for a strike. Counts at 0-1. 90 miles per hour off the arm of Horn Jr. Baker with a .202 average, 18 hits and 4 homers on the season, so he certainly has power underneath the hood. This time a breaking ball that misses the mark, a little low, counts 1-1. Wes Baker, former state champion at Second Baptist, and his father Jake played baseball at Rice and eventually became an MLB draft selection as the count goes to 2-1 here. Selected by the Astros, as a matter of fact. His brother Ty is currently a pitcher at Rice, and his uncle Lance Barkman played 15 years in the MLB for various teams. So he's got a pretty strong family history. That's not even all of them. David Horn Jr. fires in another strike, counts at 2-2. It's a great Texas tradition of sports in the Baker family, obviously. And Wes, one of the newest members of that great family, trying to keep the tradition rolling. Breaking ball here, just missed the zone. Count goes to 3-2. This Bearcats team, number 11 in the conference in batting average. However, these bats have been showing improvement, and they're trying to prove it tonight against a very stout guy in David Horn Jr. Payoff pitch, fouled into the net. Keeps the count at 3-2. Surprisingly, Sam Houston, despite being pretty good on the road in conference at 5-4, 2-7 at home in conference play. So they've lost all their home conference series. Kind of the inverse of the problem that MTSU has. That means something's got to give this weekend. Payoff pitch, and yet another foul ball. We saw this earlier with Cade Corcoran in the bottom half of the first inning, and now almost a rerun here with Wes Baker. One away here in the bottom of the second. Baker trying to get something rolling for the Bearcats. The 3-2 is lined right towards the clubhouse and probably took a pretty good shot off of one of the bricks. Hopefully not into a window, because if so, that's going to be a pretty high price to pay for somebody. I'm just glad the windows that we have here tonight on the press box are extra reinforced. Another payoff pitch to Baker is fouled back into the wall, and the count stays at 3-2. But again, Baker doing a really nice job of just staying alive in this at-bat. David Horn Jr. with a pitch count of 20 at the moment, so still pretty good on that standpoint, but you don't want to run that up anymore. And that one's in for a strike. A great fastball by Horn Jr. at 94 miles per hour, and he catches Baker looking. Baker decided to take his chances, and it just caught the top part of the zone for a massive strikeout. 2 away here in the bottom half of the second inning. Best pitch of the night, I would say, from David Horn Jr., and that'll send on Hunter Alvord, the shortstop. Righty batter in the order for the Bearcats. Made a slight bit of contact with that one, but fouls it down the third base line. Count goes to 0-1. So now we've seen both pitchers kind of settle in a little bit more even in this second inning. Peterson was already doing great stuff in the first, but Horn Jr. showing a little bit more comfort in this middle part of the lineup. Here's a line shot that gets over the head of the second baseman Clapp for a base hit. A big-time 2-out single for Hunter Alvord, and that will be the second hit of the night for the Bearcats. It was hit right over the head of Clapp, who really didn't have a chance to make a play at it. Got down into shallow right center field, and it allows the Bearcats to keep this bottom of the second alive for the moment. And that'll send on Kirby Orth, another freshman in the order for the Bearcats. They've got a lot of youth that have shown experience beyond their years this season, as we talked about. There's a strike from Horn Jr., counts 0-1. And these young pieces have helped spur this somewhat comeback for the Bearcats this year. Better record for sure than they had a year ago at this time. Trying to win their first home CUSA series of the season. Can't do it tonight, but can get themselves off to a good start. Horn Jr. places this pitch wide. Count goes to 1-1. Middle Tennessee has never won a series here in Sam Houston, but they believe that in their own right, tonight can be the night where that begins to change. 1-1, runner goes. Here's the throw as the pitch was wide, and the throw is wide as well. So a runner safe at second base for the Bearcats in Hunter Alvord, and they've got a runner in scoring position again. We told you they love to do this. Alvord had 15 stolen bases on the season entering this game, and he just got number 16. So a runner at second, count is at 1-2. Minnick did a good job of at least giving Badalak a chance initially, but threw it wide. 1-2 pitch, high and tight, and the count evens at 2-2 off a 92-mile-per-hour David Horn Jr. fastball. Again, it's good for Sam Houston, but the only way they can make it work is that they have to capitalize on this situation. Orth going to look to do exactly that. Needs one good shot to send Alvord home. 2-2. And he will ground this one foul to the left of the third base line off a breaking ball from Horn Jr., keeping the at-bat alive once again. Sam Houston has played some really tough opponents at home so far this season. Maybe part of the reason for their worst home record. Dallas Baptist, Missouri State, just to name a few. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and a big strikeout for David Horn Jr. 2, as a matter of fact, in this inning, and that will shut down the second with the score remaining 0-0. Bearcats get one run wrong with Hunter Alvord, but he's stranded at second base, and we've got a scoreless game going into the top of the third. Back with the Blue Raider Bats in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons with you here on the call for tonight's college baseball action here on the Good Neighbor Network and on the Blue Raider Network. Score is 0-0 going to the top half of the third inning. Middle Tennessee and Sam Houston deadlocked, and what could turn into a little bit of a pitcher's duel tonight between Ryan Peterson and David Horn Jr., both with a couple of big strikeouts in the second inning, hoping to keep that rolling into the third. But MTSU with Brett Von Dolen may have something to say about that. 8-9-1 due up in the order for the Blue Raiders. And Vondo, as they call him, going to look to make a big impact. This pitch inside by Peterson counts 1-0. Local man Brett Von Dolen, redshirt junior out of Murfreesboro, played at Stewart's Creek High School. Had that fantastic outing against UAB earlier this season. Season high 5 RBIs as he watches that pitch go by for a strike. Nice fastball by Peterson. And he had the 2 home run, 3 hit game against Alabama A&M back on March 24th. He will chop this one foul towards the Bearcat dugout, counts 1-2. He also knows how to get great experience and great success against Sam Houston. Had a 2-run home run in Game 1 last year versus the Bearcats, and 3 hits and 3 runs in Game 3 back in Murfreesboro. So he's done it before. 1-2. Pitch is outside, and the count is 2-2. But interestingly enough, had his statistically worst game of the series against Ryan Peterson, which goes to show you what kind of pitcher he can be. Will this year be different? 2-2. Not yet. It's a strikeout for Peterson yet again. His second straight strikeout looking. He got one on Brewer to end the top of the second, and he gets one here on Von Dolen to start the top of the third. Clay Badalak will come to the plate, but a nasty fastball by Ryan Peterson, and we've said that a time or two tonight. Badalak, the shortstop, one of the better infielders that MTSU has at their disposal, and a guy who's a sneaky good bat. Watches this pitch go by, and the count goes to 0-1. Got a 160 average on the season, but that average is not a reflection of just how good of a hitter he can be. But he's trying to get MTSU on the scoreboard here tonight against maybe the best pitcher in Conference USA, so it's a tough task to say the least. Counts 1-1, and here's a line shot into right center field that gets down for a base hit. What I say, sneaky good hitter? Clay Badalak is all of that. A big one-out single here in the top half of the third inning, and that is the first hit of the game for MTSU against Ryan Peterson. Owen Nowak will come to the plate, and we go back to the top of the order for MTSU, but that was a great piece of hitting right over the second baseman, Jace Martinez, and the Blue Raiders trying to cash in now with one of the best hitters on the roster, getting Badalak further along, hopefully. Nowak, round ball through the left side for a base hit. The shortstop shifted at the exact wrong moment, and the Blue Raiders have runners at first and second. I think Hunter Alvord was looking at Badalak and ended up shifting right when he didn't need to, made a drastic move, and as the ball was coming off the bat of Owen Nowak, it went right through that 5-6 hole, and the Blue Raiders now have back-to-back hits on Ryan Peterson. 2 straight singles and runners at first and second. Badalak is the man in scoring position, and here comes Lane Akers, as I call him, the raker. Pitch by Peterson. Fastball will calm down the storm for a second. Counts 0-1. Actually went with an off-speed pitch, beg your pardon. Look very similar from up here. Sometimes it's tough to tell speed, so apologies for that one. 0-1 pitch. That is definitely a fastball. And it's just a little bit wide, and the count goes to 1-1. Lane Akers has been on an absolute tear as of late. Of course, I'm sure it's not the first time you've heard that. .330 average on the season, 26 RBIs and 20 runs. Had 4 RBIs against New Mexico State back on March 29th. There's strike 2 for Peterson. Count is 1-2 off the breaking ball. Wasn't even sure if he would be in the starting lineup at the start of the year, but he's 100% slotted himself into that position and earned it every step of the way. Now trying to make the most of it. 1-2, swing and a miss. Peterson got him that time. That is the second strikeout of the inning for Ryan Peterson. This time he gets Lane Akers swinging. And can you say 4 strikeouts on the game for number 27? Cooper Clapp will come to the plate. And now for MTSU, this is a bit more of a pressure situation because you have not been able to get 2 runners on base all night, albeit on a short night so far against Peterson. But with how good this guy is, you don't want to waste this kind of opportunity. As the count goes to 1-0 for Clapp. Grounded out to first last time. 2 away. Badalak is speedy. And of course we know Nowak is. This pitch by Peterson is low. Count goes to 2-0. So when you have that at your disposal, you feel pretty good if you're MTSU, but can you get a ball into the field of play to spring those guys ahead? Counts at 2-0, and another pitch outside by Peterson. So after that really consistent stretch, Peterson uncharacteristically has fired in 3 straight balls, and if he fires in another ball, the bases will be loaded for MTSU. And you'd have Tyler Minnick waiting in the wings. Clapp on a 3-0. Peterson corrects course and delivers a strike. 3-1 count off the 91-mile-per-hour fastball. And we'll set up for what might end up being the biggest 3-1 of the game. 3-1 pitch, ball 4. Too far to the inside, and Cooper Clapp will make his way over to first base. And it is high pressure situation for the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders with the bases loaded and 2 outs. No stoppage yet from Sam Houston. They're not going to meet on the mound about this. Sometimes you see coaches do that. But it looks like Jay Sirianni, the head coach of the Bearcats, is going to stay in the dugout for now. And here comes Tyler Minnick, a man who's got 7 home runs on the season. That's number 2 on the team and has 36 RBIs. Minnick reached on a walk his last time up. He'd love to work in another one, but Peterson fires in a strike, and the count's 0-1. So Badalak is at third, Nowak at second, Clapp is at first. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. A beautiful low pitch by Ryan Peterson that Minnick dug after but could not grab. And this is a huge 0-2 coming up for the cleanup man in the order. The 0-2. Here's a fly ball into right center field. This will stay in the yard, and the ball will be caught by Bazemore for the out. So a disappointing ending to what was a promising inning for MTSU. They strand 3 runners aboard and come up empty against Ryan Peterson and the Bearcats once again. We'll be back for the bottom of the third and David Horn Jr. when we return on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Womack. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Womack. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
It's been a pitcher's duel so far at Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas, between the Bearcats and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. 0-0 as we head into the bottom half of the third inning. Dylan Simmons with you solo on the call tonight. Hope you're having a good time wherever you're listening from. And this is going to be a very interesting game if these first 2.5 innings have anything to say about it. Both pitchers showing out, although MTSU almost broke through in the top of the third with the bases loaded. However, they were unable to cash in and get a single run against Ryan Peterson and Sam Houston. We'll see if MTSU can return the favor here against Jace Martinez and the Bearcats. 9-1-2 due up in the order for Sam Houston. Of course, we haven't talked a whole lot about Martinez yet on the night. This is our first time, of course, seeing him at the plate. But he's another guy who's had some pretty solid outings this year. 235 average, 8 RBIs, and 28 hits. Not the most consistent hitter, but when he's on, he's certainly on, and he's also got a lot of speed under the hood, much like Jarrett Curtis and others on this roster. That pitch is in by Horn Jr. for a strike, counts 1-1. Martinez last year appeared in 50 games and tied himself for the team lead with Parker Blackman in stolen bases at 22. So don't get him on the base path if you're MTSU. 1-1, this is fouled over the top of the MTSU dugout. And the count will move to 1-2 strikes. That's one thing that obviously the Bearcats have in spades is speed. And speed, especially when you're on the base paths, can be what gets you if you're a defense. 1-2 pitch, and that will be a strikeout. Beautiful pitch by David Horn Jr., a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. And there was nothing that Jace Martinez could do about that one. Both these guys having what could end up being career nights tonight. And if that's the case, we're in for something special here in Huntsville. But obviously a lot of baseball yet to be played. 3 strikeouts now for Horn Jr. Ryan Frandon, forgot the R, is at the plate. That pitch is high. Count will be 1-0. Frandon, a third baseman for Sam Houston. We've already seen him once tonight. Flew out to center his first time up. And here's a high fly ball blistered into right field, and goodbye. The Bearcats are the first on the board, and it's Ryan Frandon with a solo home run shot, a no-doubter over the right field fence. We knew one of these teams was going to break through in a big way at some point. We just didn't know who, and it turned out to be Sam Houston. Frandon with an absolute destruction of that baseball. And the Bearcats are on top 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Jarrett Curtis will come to the plate, and that's about as easy of a home run call as you could imagine, folks. It was way gone. Would love to see the distance that one had as it cleared that wall. Count goes to 1-0, and of course, right after Ryan Frandon, there's no rest for the wicked as you've got Jarrett Curtis, who already has a single in this game, currently at the plate. And he'll chop one over to third. Von Dillon comes up, makes the throw, and just got it there in the nick of time for out number 2. But boy, he had to work for that one. Curtis hit it very softly. It was, for all intents and purposes, a swinging bunt. And Von Dillon really had to chase after it and then hustle to get that throw over to O'Neill, but got it there for the 5-3. Cade Corcoran back to the plate. He's reached on a walk tonight, the only walk that David Horn Jr. has issued. Now 2 away with nobody on base here in the bottom of the third. And this pitch, a little outside, counts 1-0. And I do wonder since that home run is one of only 3 hits so far for the Bearcats, and we've seen little scoring otherwise, no scoring otherwise from either of these teams, is it going to take stuff like that to get on the scoreboard tonight? This pitch is fouled towards the roof of the Sam Houston clubhouse. Count goes to 1-1. Sam Houston as a team 3 for 10 hitting wise. Middle Tennessee is 2 for 11 so far on the night. So mixed fortunes for both sides. Counts 1-1. Here's a fly ball to center. It'll take Nowak back, but he'll be there to make the catch for out number 3. But Sam Houston is the first team on the scoreboard. A massive solo home run from Ryan Frandon over the right field wall puts the Bearcats on top 1-0. We'll be back for the top of the fourth to see if MTSU's got an answer in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
1-0 your score here in Huntsville, Texas at Don Sanders Stadium. Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday night edition of MTSU Baseball. And it has been a pretty defensive game so far until a few moments ago when Ryan Frandon hit a monster home run over the right field wall. We talked about in the pregame that there are some pretty short corners here at Don Sanders Stadium, 330 to right field and left field respectively, and it is thanks to those short corners in some ways that massive home run from Ryan Frandon didn't have any doubt on it. He may have in some ways taken advantage of that short corner and got it over, but regardless, Bearcats on top. MTSU now needs an answer against Ryan Peterson. Almost had it in the last frame. Had the bases loaded but couldn't capitalize. Counts 1-0. This is Brett Rogers at the plate. Number 6-man or 5-man, I should say, in the order. 5, 6, 7 due up for MTSU. Rogers, O'Neill, and Nathan Brewer. Rogers struck out looking his last time up for MTSU. One of 4 strikeouts that Ryan Peterson already has in this game. Counts at 2-0 though here. And here's a fly ball deep to left field. That will land right at the wall. Rogers racing around to second, and he'll get there with a massive stand-up double. What a shot from Brett Rogers that almost cleared that short left field corner, and the Blue Raiders get a massive extra base hit to lead off the top half of the 4th inning. Brett Rogers has done that more than a few times this season, and he lifted that ball with some force and aggression over towards left field, and the Chattanooga native has MTSU set up to possibly tie the game in this frame. Dean O'Neill comes to the plate. First baseman for MTSU flew a ball out to center his last time up and sends a high fly ball to right field here. Bazemore camps underneath it and makes the catch. Trying to run to third as Rogers slides and got put out. What a throw from right field by Bazemore. And Rogers, who was trying to take third base, could not get there in the nick of time. Rogers is definitely disagreeing with the call. He had some visible emotion, put his hands up like what in the world after that call was made. But the Bearcats are going to catch a break thanks to that beautiful throw from Bazemore. And I can't blame Rogers for trying to take third. Bazemore was pretty far back, but I guess it's just that Rogers underestimated the cannon that Bazemore had out there from right field. A beautiful hit. Jerry Myers, by the way, has made his way out of the dugout. And I wonder if he may want to take a look at this, or may want the umpires, I should say, to take a look at this. There hasn't been a signal for a review yet. May just want an explanation as to what happened. And I think that's all it is. He just wants an explanation, and there will be no review of the play. But even if there was, I would guess that it would stand. It looked pretty clear from my vantage point as well. Rogers slid in, almost got there, but the throw was just ridiculous from Bazemore, and it allows Sam Houston to get a massive double play. So that pitch will come in low. Count goes to 1-0. It is Nathan Brewer now at the plate, and that's another really tough situation for MTSU. Just when you think you've got a runner at third with one out, Sam Houston slams the door right in your face. Count goes to 1-1, and now it's tough for Brewer because you've got 2 outs to contend with all of a sudden, and a lot less leeway on this at-bat. Pitch is in here for a strike. Low fastball by Peterson. Count goes to 1-2. Brewer struck out looking his first time up against Peterson, who's looking for that 5th strikeout right here. And just placed it high on the breaking ball. Count goes to 2-2. These Bearcat fans have been treated to some sensational highlight reel plays in these last couple frames, but MTSU wants to deliver one of their own. Not going to get it, though. Swing and a miss from Nathan Brewer, and strikeout number 5 for Ryan Peterson, who is wheeling and dealing here at home against the Blue Raiders. MTSU gets an extra base hit from Brett Rogers, but he is thrown out thanks to a beautiful play from Sean Bazemore in right field on a double play against MTSU. Back for the bottom of the 4th in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
For more information, visit GoBearcat.com.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Welcome back. What's been an eventful night of baseball here at Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday night edition of Blue Raider Baseball. And MTSU's had some heartbreaking misfortune the last couple of frames that they've been on offense. Had the bases loaded in the top of the 3rd. Even with 2 outs, you'd hope to score there. Unable to. And then in the last frame they had just a few moments ago, Brett Rogers got a massive leadoff double. But all of a sudden, MTSU went from that to getting double played, and then eventually to securing no runs in the inning. So it's been a tough last couple frames from that standpoint, but the good news is they're still very much in striking distance, down 1-0 to the Sam Houston Bearcats. Nathan Fink is at the plate against the reliable David Horn Jr. in this contest. And this will be fouled back into the net. Count goes to 0-1 for Fink, who grounded out right to David Horn Jr. his last time up. Wasn't right to him, it was a backhand play by Horn Jr. that allowed for the out to be secured. And Horn Jr. with a beautiful fastball. Count goes to 0-2. He's been almost perfect outside of the solo home run that he gave up to Ryan Frandon in the top half or bottom half of the 3rd inning. Check swing here and called for a strike. So an inning starting, I'll call it strikeout for David Horn Jr. against Nathan Fink. That will be strikeout number 4 for Horn Jr. tonight. 1 away in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Now at the plate, number 19, Sean Basmore.
And here comes the man who just made the incredible play from right field on that relay to get Brett Rogers out as he was chasing after third base after getting the double. Sean Basmore, junior out of Crosby, Texas, facing a 1-0 count here. Horn Jr. fires this pitch in low. Count goes to 2-0. Last time out, Basmore grounded right out to third base on what was just the second pitch he faced in the game. Looking for a little more success here. Here's a ground ball right to Von Dolan again. He'll throw on to first, and he almost had to take O'Neill off the bag, but Dean did a good job of staying on the bag to get the out. A 5-3 makes it 2 down here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. That'll send on Wes Baker, another strikeout victim of David Horn Jr. back in the 2nd inning. Lefty batter in the order for the Bearcats. Officially listed as a switch hitter. Kirby Orth is another lefty. In fact, Sam Houston in the lineup tonight has 4 batters hitting as lefties. Pitch is high here, counts 1-0. MTSU with 5, so we're seeing a lot of that this evening, which is a tough thing sometimes for pitchers to deal with, but these two guys that we've seen tonight have been up to the task. Counts 1-0. Here's a ground ball fouled. Count evens at 1-1 for Wes Baker. Bearcats led by Jay Sirianni in his 6th season. A 101-89 record, the 10th head coach in program history. Has taken his team to the postseason a couple of different times, including back in 2024 in the CUSA tournament. And he was part of some of the better Sam Houston teams in history in the past. Was a part of the 2017 team that ended up making it to the Tallahassee Super Regional. That was back when the team was in the WAC. Counts at 2-1 here. This pitch is high, and the count goes to 3-1. And for the first time in a little bit, David Horn Jr. may be in danger of issuing a walk. Jay Sirianni's done a really good job of building up this team in the meantime. Here's a ball softly hit out to left center field, and it gets down for a base hit. Stopping at first base will be Baker, and he's got a bloop single here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Just caught a little piece of it. Well, more than a little piece of it, but enough of it to get it over the head of Von Dolan and Badilak, and it was heading for left center, then kind of drifted over towards shallow left itself to get the 2-out single. Had a very odd change of direction as it was traveling through. It's because it was hit at such an angle, but regardless of all that, the Bearcats have a runner aboard, and Hunter Alvord will come to the plate. He's already got a single tonight back in the 2nd inning. This pitch is in for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Alvord, the shortstop for the Bearcats in this game. Out of McPherson, Kansas. Originally played at Barton Community College as well. One of the best big play hitters on the team. Trying to make the most of a 2-out situation. And here is a drive into right center field that gets down for a base hit. Nowak will throw back to second, and that will keep Alvord at first, but there are runners in the corners for Sam Houston with 2 away here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Back-to-back singles for Sam Houston. First, it was the bloop shot from Baker, and then that drive into right center field by Alvord. And all of a sudden, Sam Houston is threatening to extend their 1-run lead. Kirby Orth will come to the plate. Struck out swinging last time against David Horn Jr. and ended the 2nd inning. But threatening to change the complexion of this game in the bottom of the 4th right here. David Horn Jr., by the way, at 62 pitches now in this contest, so getting up there a little more. Orth fouls this one back towards the parking lot. Count goes to 0-1. They parked our bus, by the way, out in center field, just beyond the right center field wall. It's an interesting way to get into the ballpark, but certainly a memorable one. And before we get this 0-1 pitch, it looks like Jerry Myers is going to make his way out of the dugout. to at least talk to David Horn Jr. Don't see a lot of action right now in the MTSU bullpen, so shouldn't be a pitching change here, but you do want to talk to your guy and the rest of your defense to make sure that everybody's aware of the situation and also to make sure everybody's calm for the circumstances that they're facing. A lot of times, not just in baseball, but in any sport, you get caught up in the moment too much of what you think you should do or what you think the team should do, and you end up playing differently as a result. So I think that's a smart job by Jerry Myers of just trying to keep the guys within themselves and play the game naturally. Just take care of what you can take care of. So now the 0-1 against Kirby Orth. And of course, MTSU would love to make this the end of the inning so they don't have to face that top part of the order again, which has been the best part tonight so far for the Bearcats. 0-1, runner at first goes. Minnick feigns the throw to second base, keeps it in his hand, and they are going to allow Hunter Alvord to take second base on a stolen base. Count goes to 1-1 as that pitch missed for David Horn Jr. Of course, we know Minnick can unload the cannon whenever he wants, but knew obviously in that situation that if you do throw, you're risking potentially allowing Baker to get home if the play goes awry, so I think that's a smart choice. That's high baseball IQ as well. Still, though, 2 runners now in scoring position with a 1-1 and 2 outs. Swing and a miss. That'll certainly help David Horn Jr. and MTSU. Count goes to 1-2. Looking for strikeout number 5 in the game and his second straight on the left fielder. Could David Horn Jr. keep this at a 1-0 contest? One-two pitch. Chopped along the third base line. That's fair. Von Dolan off balance throw to first. And safe at first base is Orth, and a run comes in. Baker scores, and it's 2-0 Bearcats. A beautiful single legged out by the left fielder Kirby Orth, who's usually not even in that position. Caleb Cotton is usually the man starting in left field, not playing tonight. Orth slotted in for him, and he just got a massive RBI single for the Bearcats to put them on top 2-0. Von Dolan had to chase that thing down as it was hit along the third base line, and he got to it, but the throw was at such an awkward angle that it was almost impossible to get it there in time with the hard-charging Orth. So a big-time RBI single, and the Bearcats are on top 2-0 with 2 outs. That'll bring on Jace Martinez, who struck out swinging back in the third inning. But that is tough if you're MTSU to give up a run in that fashion, but really nothing they could do in that spot. Von Dolan had to try to make the play at first, but it was going to be tough no matter what. And all of a sudden, the Bearcats with the lead extended. Fastball by Horn Jr. misses. Count goes to 1-0. But again, MTSU cannot go away from what's been working. They've played good defense. It's just been inopportune situations that have put them in this spot. A solo home run shot, and then, I don't want to say a freak hit, but an odd hit along the third base line that worked out perfectly in a runners in the corner situation for Sam Houston. Alvord is now at third. Orth is at first. Second base is empty with 2 outs. Count 1-0. 1-0 pitch, runner goes, pitch is wide, and again, Minnick feigns the throw. And that will allow Orth to take second base for his 3rd stolen base of the season. Runners at second and third for the Bearcats, counts at 1-1. Kind of the same setup we saw just a moment ago that allowed Orth to bring in the RBI single. Now Martinez looking to follow in his footsteps. Counts at 1-1 for David Horn Jr. and MTSU. And this pitch bounces off of Minnick but stays in front of him. It's going to be called for ball 2. And right now, MTSU, their biggest goal is just keep this where it is. Don't let the Bearcats extend this lead any further. You don't want to make this a 3 or 4 run comeback kind of night. especially with how Peterson's pitching. 2-1, breaking ball, beautiful from David Horn Jr. A fantastic curveball that gets it to 2-2. And again, he did strike out Martinez the first time he faced him. Could certainly do that again to strand 2 runners for the Bearcats. Taking his time on this 2-2. 2 left on the pitch clock. Got to hurry. Gets it off. Zips in a breaking ball. And just missed the inside corner. Count goes to 3-2. May have been a little bit low as well. Sam Houston crowd trying to urge on Jace Martinez to score more runs for the Bearcats. 2 runners in scoring position. And a big payoff pitch here in the bottom of the 4th. 3-2. Here's a ball hit into right field for another base hit. A run comes in for the Bearcats. Alvord scores. It's the second straight RBI single for Sam Houston, and the lead is extended to 3-0. Another little bloop shot into shallow right field that MTSU could do nothing about. And again, it's going to be runners at the corners for Sam Houston. Alvord scores the run. Orth is at third. And now you've got Martinez at first, and this is the situation that MTSU really wanted to avoid. Not only have you given up more runs, but you've got the top of the order back with Ryan Frandon, the man who got the scoring started with a solo home run in the bottom of the 3rd. David Horn Jr. places this one outside, counts 1-0. But obviously the situation is growing a little more desperate now if you're MTSU, because although the way that Sam Houston is scoring isn't pretty, they're grinding out runs, and that's the most important thing right now. Breaking ball, placed in well by Horn Jr. Count goes to 1-1. Lifted that breaking ball up a little bit compared to what we've seen. And we've got a 1-1 pitch coming up. Obviously, Horn Jr. understands the weight of this moment. I'm sure he feels a little more pressure now. Runner goes from first, and Minnick's not even going to try to throw as he bobbled the pitch. Count goes to 2-1. Martinez steals second base. That will be his 16th stolen bag of the year. Of course, we've already seen him steal base once tonight, so not a shock to see him go for it again. Again, that's just a part of Sam Houston's game. It's what they love to do. Counts at 2-1. And this is placed wide by Horn Jr. Counts now at 3-1 against Ryan Frandon. The pressure, you thought it was big before. It's been turned up to 100 now on David Horn Jr. and MTSU. Trying to maintain control. Here's a ground ball to Clapp, who bobbles it, throws to first, still got it there in time, and that will be a 4-3 that thankfully for MTSU ends this bottom half of the 4th inning. But it's still a productive inning for Sam Houston. They put 2 runs on the scoreboard as Kirby Orth and Jace Martinez leg out RBI singles, and the Bearcats in control in Huntsville. We'll see if MTSU's got a response on the top of the 5th here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
With nearly 200 majors and concentrations for undergrads and more than 100 graduate programs, Middle Tennessee State University has something for everyone, including more than 50 online degrees. Do you want high-quality, affordable education? It's not too late to apply. Learn more at mtsu.edu. Blue Raiders down by a score of 3-0 to the Sam Houston Bearcats after 2 RBI singles from Sam Houston in that bottom half of the fourth a moment ago. Brett Von Dolan is at the plate. Number 8 man in the order grounds one right to Peterson, and he'll throw it right to first for the out. And that was a pretty sharply hit ball as well. It's just that, unfortunately for Von Dolan, it went right to the pitcher who said, I'm not having any part of that. So one away just like that in the top of the fifth. And the struggles for the MTSU bats, who've been solid throughout the season, continue tonight. They've had some struggles, statistically more so on the road, however, and we're unfortunately seeing some of that play out in the early goings here. 4 scoreless innings against Ryan Peterson. Badilak showed bunt for a moment, pulled back. Count goes to 1-0. And right now, down 3-0, and Sam Houston out hitting MTSU 7-3. It's not an ideal situation by any means. Badilak, though, may have an answer. Fly ball, right field, and it's going to land off of the top of the wall. Badilak races to second and slides in and didn't get there in time. Bazemore got him again. Oh, my gracious. That ball went off the wall. Bazemore picked it up, and as Badilak was racing to take second base, slid in, thought he got there in time, but the throw over to Jace Martinez got there first. And that is out number 2 in this top half of the fifth inning. How in the world do you do anything about that? And Jerry Myers, livid after the play, came out of the dugout, spoke to the home plate umpire, and just got thrown out of the game. Slammed his cap down, beyond furious about what just took place. And I don't think I've seen Jerry Myers get that frustrated in a long time. He did not like that call at all over at second. It was very close. And he's, looks like, not going to be allowed back on the premises tonight. Wow. So this game has completely turned as far as it being competitive and even-keeled. There's a lot of emotion and a lot of frustration pouring out for MTSU right now, and Jerry Myers just showed a lot of that a moment ago. 2 outs in the top of the fifth, and the umpire, I think, is checking with the dugout to make sure that Myers has left, and I think he's just getting some stuff together right now so that he can eventually get out. But that's going to change things entirely throughout the rest of this game. And now we'll have to see how MTSU responds. Sometimes your coach getting thrown out, that can be a motivating factor, and it can completely change how you play the rest of this game. As Myers takes one last look at the field before being walked out of the gate. Well, 2 outs here in this top half of the fifth inning. We play on in Huntsville. It's Owen Nowak at the plate, and Ryan Peterson, man, just continues to fire in those, in some ways, demoralizing strikes. Counts 0-1 off another 92-mile-per-hour fastball ripped right down the alley. 0-1, fly ball deep to left field. Back there is Orth, and he'll make the catch at the warning track for out 3. So MTSU gets 1, 2, 3. Thought they had a big hit from Clay Badilak. Jerry Myers frustrated, now out of the game. Where does MTSU go from here? We'll find out in the bottom half of the fifth inning if the Blue Raiders can use this to their advantage here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here on the Good Neighbor Network and the Blue Raider Network. Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday night. Your score, Sam Houston 3, MTSU 0. And the Blue Raiders trying to find their way back into this game after that close play at second base a moment ago. And Jerry Myers now out of the game after being thrown out for arguing the call at second base a moment ago between Clay Badalak and Jace Martinez after a brilliant relay from right field from Sean Basmore, the right fielder. Don't believe that this field has review capabilities, and that's probably why Myers got so animated about the call. He didn't really have the chance to go back and review that or have the umpires look at it, so you got to express your frustration, and he did so, and he is now not on the premises. So bottom half of the fifth inning, MTSU trying to find that fire inside to take this game. Here's a fly ball deep out to left center field. Nowak has to race for it, but does make the catch. What a job against Jarrett Curtis, who put a lot of distance onto that baseball and had it pretty deep into left center, but just couldn't get it with enough velocity. So Cade Corcoran will come on, or Corcoran, I should say, will come on. First baseman has reached on a walk, flew a ball out to center field. Lefty batter. Don Sanders Stadium, pretty packed out tonight. A lot of orange, obviously. Some blue, though. A few MTSU fans have made the long journey from Murfreesboro. This pitch here comes in wide, counts 1-0. It's about a 13-hour drive from Murfreesboro to Huntsville, and about a, I'd say, 2-hour flight from Nashville to Houston. Thank goodness for planes. Here's a ball lifted into left field, way back towards the wall on a moonshot, and making the catch right near the wall was Nathan Brewer. But he had to really stretch for that one, and it looked for a second like it might just carry and carry and carry itself up over the top of the wall. David Horn Jr. still on the mound. Has done a pretty solid job, but in the bottom of the fourth, let a couple of runs get away from him, courtesy of RBI singles for Sam Houston. Time called here is Nathan Fink, the DH, going to talk to one of the members of the staff. And of course, with Myers gone, the coaching situation changes a little bit for MTSU, but they've been in this situation before, and they'll be ready to make those adjustments if need be, and hopefully they'll be able to take a win back for Coach Myers. Kevin Nichols, of course, would usually take over as the quote-unquote acting head man for the time being. You've also got Adam Wisniewski and Ryan Huber waiting in the wings. Here's a fly ball, or a ball popped up, I should say. Shallow left, catch made by Badalak, and that'll do it for this bottom half of the fifth inning. So Sam Houston gets 1-2-3'd. Your score is still 3-0. What sort of fire will we see from the MTSU bats on the top of the sixth? We'll find out in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb and Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to Huntsville, Texas. Dylan Simmons with you in what's been a dramatic, wild game here in the middle part of this contest. 3-0. The Bearcats on top of your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. We enter the top of the 6th. Jerry Myers has been ejected from this game after arguing a call in the top half of the 5th a few moments ago. And now we'll see what MTSU can do to spark a fire after that. The Bats have had some damage done against Sam Houston tonight, but they have not been able to cash in and bring in a run yet. We'll see if this is the inning where that changes. Lane Akers is the man who will start off the frame at the plate, number 2 man in the order. Ryan Peterson still on the mound, and he fires in a fastball, counts 0-1. It has been tough to get anything going against that man on the mound so far. He's just been playing at a different level tonight. Akers, bouncing ball to second, picked up by Martinez, throws on to first and got it there in time for the 4-3 and out number 1. So Akers will be retired, and that's one away in this top of the 6th. We knew it was going to be tough sledding against Ryan Peterson, but with 68 pitches on the night, he looks no worse for wear than he did at the start of the game. MTSU had a chance early on in this contest. They had the bases loaded with 2 outs but couldn't cash in. And ever since then, it's been a roller coaster ride down. But still a chance to change that. Still plenty of baseball left to be played. Cooper Clapp at the plate. Counts at 0-1 after a nice fastball by Peterson. And here's a line shot right to Martinez at second for out number 2. Sometimes the luck is just not going your way. And it was a good shot off the bat of Clapp, but unfortunately it went right to Martinez, who was waiting on it. You put that in the 4-3 hole, and it's a different story. Tyler Minnick comes to the plate, reached on a walk back in the 2nd, flew a ball out to right back in the 3rd. And with a check swing here, it's a strike, counts 0-1. Blue Raiders really want to avoid another 1-2-3 inning against Peterson. You got to get some sort of momentum rolling for these bats. 0-1 pitch. This ball hit off the end of the bat of Minnick. Count goes to 0-2. And Minnick calls time and heads towards the dugout. And I think that he wants, he's going to try to apply some spray to it to get the handling on it a little bit better. Wants to make sure that he's got the right kind of grip, and of course you want to in this situation. So the count will be at 0-2. Sun is completely set, by the way, now in Texas. Not quite a dark sky, but more of a twilight look. 0-2 pitch coming up. Pitch to Minnick, and it is just wide of the zone on the off-speed pitch. Count goes to 1-2. Minnick trying to get MTSU their 5th hit of this game. Trying to also help secure the first run of the game. Check swing again, and this will be a strikeout. Went right down the middle that time against Minnick, and that will be strike number 3 and the end of the top half of the 6th inning, and that'll be strikeout number 6 for Ryan Peterson. So off to the bottom of the 6th we go. MTSU still scoreless here in Huntsville. Back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
More baseball left to be played here in Huntsville, Texas on a Friday night. Dylan Simmons on the call, and we are approaching the bottom half of the sixth inning between the Bearcats and the Blue Raiders. MTSU has been held scoreless for the entirety of this contest so far, but they've got the always reliable David Horn Jr. on the mound trying to make sure that we don't see any more runs scored by this Sam Houston team. A man who's been a thorn in the side of MTSU tonight, Sean Bazemore, is at the plate. He has thrown out two guys on the base paths that looked like for certain they would get to second and third respectively, in Brett Rogers and Clay Badalak. And the Badalak play ended up getting Jerry Myers thrown out after he argued that Badalak got to second safely. Counts 1-0, and again, no video review as far as we know here at this ballpark. So you can understand the frustration from Myers from that standpoint. Counts 2-0. This crucial Conference USA series, both teams trying to vie for a spot in the CUSA tournament. 2-0 pitch, Horn Jr., fastball for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. You got to make the most of every opportunity you have, and right now the Blue Raiders potentially letting one slip away. Here's a ball popped up and fouled. Count goes to 2-2. Appreciate you joining us both here on the Blue Raider Network and on WGNS tonight. We will be back tomorrow and Sunday with more MTSU baseball action, so make sure you tune in for those as they look to take the series on the road. 2-2 pitch, fastball in for a strike, and David Horn Jr. says, I'm not done yet. Big strikeout on Bazemore to start off this sixth innings, or bottom of the half of the sixth inning. Fifth K of the night for him, and that is one down here in this bottom frame. Wes Baker will come to the plate, lefty batter for the Bearcats. Out of Houston, Texas, watches a beautiful breaking ball go in for a strike. Counts 0-1. Baker, the man with the rich family tradition of baseball. Sam Houston, as a team, in a bit of an opportunistic situation. There's a strike for David Horn Jr. Counts 0-2. They've got some of their toughest competition of the season behind them, so if they can play well in these final few series, they can really boost their spot to not only get in the tournament, but a pretty good seed in the tournament. Fly ball here to left center field, and Nowak races after it to make a tough catch for out number 2. But again, he really had to earn it. That's the joy and thrill of having a great center fielder, is that he can do things like that and get you big outs. And Owen Nowak has robbed a couple of would-be hits tonight for Sam Houston. Hunter Alvord will come to the plate. He has been 2 for 2 so far tonight, already a couple of singles against David Horn Jr., a guy who's given him a lot of trouble so far. Horn Jr. wants to change that. Fires in a tough breaking ball that's too high, counts 1-0. Alvord almost ducked it a little bit off of his black helmet. 1-0 pitch coming up. And again, he went back to the breaking ball inside, and Alvord not flinching, not going after it. Counts 2-0. Bearcats have only one team left in CUSA play that has a winning record in conference, and that's Louisiana Tech. That's where the opportunistic part comes in. There's a fastball for a strike. So if they handle business, in theory, against the teams they have left, they should be able to pretty easily make the conference tournament. However, again, it's a very competitive year, and that's easier said than done. 2-1 pitch, check swing, and that will be called for ball 3. So the count goes to 3-1. Alvord kind of flinched at it, but didn't go all the way around, according to the umpiring crew. So the count at 3-1. Bearcats 18-23 overall, 7-11 in CUSA play, and that pitch is low for ball 4. So there will be no third out yet against Sam Houston in the bottom of the 6th. Alvord on to first with a base on balls with 2 outs. Kirby Orth will come to the plate, and he got that wild RBI single in the bottom half of the 4th inning against MTSU. Legged it out as he hit what was virtually a swinging bunt down the third base line. And again, he wasn't even supposed to be in the lineup in this game. It was going to be Caleb Cotton, but not playing tonight for an unknown reason. As that pitch is high, counts 1-0. And so Orth slotted in left field, and he delivered what's possibly going to be the most consequential hit of the night, because without that, not only do they not add in his run, but they don't add in another RBI single after the fact. So it has really allowed Sam Houston to get control of this game. Counts 1-0. Orth watches it go by. It's a strike. Counts 1-1. Orth and Jace Martinez ended up getting those back-to-back RBI singles. The other run brought in was from Ryan Frandon, who got a solo home run back in the bottom of the 3rd. Sam Houston scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. Counts 1-1 here. Runner at first is going to take off. Swing and a miss. Here's the throw to second, and they are not going to be able to get it there in time to get Alvord. He will steal second base for his 20th stolen bag of the season. 86% success rate just got brought up even more. Counts 1-2, though, on Kirby Orth. Orth did strike out swinging back in the 2nd inning, so Horn Jr.'s got him before. We'll see if he can add to that again. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and that will be an inning-ending strikeout for David Horn Jr. He gets 2 big ones in this inning, and he keeps the score at 3-0. 1 runner stranded on base for the Bearcats, and we will move on to the top half of the 7th inning. MTSU trying to take a bite out of the Bearcats' lead. Back in 1 on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
I want to thank our friends over at Dr. Davis Spivey in Murfreesboro Oral Surgery and Implant Center. They are proud supporters of Blue Raider athletics. For over 25 years, Dr. Spivey has provided the best oral surgical care possible to our community. Your score here in Huntsville, Texas, 3-0. Sam Houston on top of Middle Tennessee as we get ready for the top half of the 7th inning. Ryan Peterson on the mound. 75 pitches so far on the night, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits given up, but no earned runs, no runs, period. MTSU scoreless, still trying to find a way to get on the scoreboard, having to do it without Jerry Myers, who's already been thrown out of the game for arguing a call vehemently, I would say. Best adjective I can use back in the 5th inning. MTSU searching for answers. Brett Rogers at the plate, 5, 6, and 7 due up in the order for MTSU. Rogers 1 for 2 so far tonight, and he's going to chop one right to third. The throw to first will just get there in time for the 5-3. And again, MTSU quickly in this 7th inning ends up with a ground out. We've seen a lot of those, unfortunately, here tonight that are just too easy for this defense. Good play by Ryan Frandon over at third, and that'll send on Dean O'Neill. First baseman we talked to in the pregame flew a ball out to center in the 2nd and flew a ball out to right in the 4th. Those are his 2 at-bats so far on the day. Of course, Dean has that explosive ability. Top 10 in Conference USA in home runs, but Ryan Peterson, the staff ace, maybe the best pitcher in all of CUSA, has just turned on the Jets tonight. Counts 0-1. They knew it would be a tough challenge, but O'Neill said they just got to take advantage of his mistakes and the opportunities they get. Unfortunately, Peterson's just not really allowed many of those. There have been moments and windows for MTSU. Had the bases loaded in the 2nd. Brett Rogers almost got to third, but they have not been able to cash in on those. And those are the moments that if you don't seize them, can come back to bite you. 0-2. Pitches outside here by Peterson on a wild fastball, 93 miles per hour. Not a wild pitch, of course, just to make sure we avoid any confusion there. 1-2 count. Peterson did a great job in Game 2 last year against MTSU. Check swing, and that'll be just missed by O'Neill as far as getting the ball or getting the bat around, so the count will be at 2-2. Just missed a potential strikeout. But O'Neill was great last year against MTSU and has shown a lot of the same moxie tonight, even more so. 2-2. And just missed the zone again. So the count will run full. Payoff pitch coming up. Nathan Brewer's on deck if O'Neill can possibly get this into the outfield. And that is a beautiful fastball by Peterson for a strikeout, and that's 2 away in the top of the 7th. Another fastball right down the alley that Dean O'Neill could do nothing with. Strikeout number 6 for Ryan Peterson here tonight. Check it, 7th strikeout of the game. So many you lose track of them. Brewer to the plate. The senior 0 for 2, and now with 2 outs in this top of the 7th to contend with. Here's a ground ball that gets through the 5-6 hole in left field and will result in a base hit. Nathan Brewer with a big 2-out single, his first hit of the night. First hit in a good bit for MTSU. They'll take the relief, and that'll send on Brett Von Dolan, who struck out looking in the 2nd. Grounded a ball right back to Peterson in the 5th. But at least for the moment, MTSU hoping they can convert this into a little bit of life on the road and maybe get on the scoreboard. Von Dolan, of course, has hit game-changing shots before. Runner goes, swing and a miss. The throw to second is going to be there for the out. Wes Baker with a great throw once again. We've seen Bazemore do it a couple times tonight. And as Brewer was trying to take second base, he almost went off the bag. I'm not sure if it was because he went off the bag or if the throw got there first, but either way, he's out. And that'll do it for the top half of the 7th inning. Your score remains 3-0. Bearcats on top. We'll be back after the 7th inning stretch here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Well, we've got our first pitching change of the night for either side. MTSU will sub out David Horn Jr. and bring on Landon Birch for the first time tonight. We'll talk more about Landon in just a second, but as a result of that pitching change, David Horn Jr.'s night will end 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs given up, and 6 strikeouts. Not a bad night's worth of work, in all honesty, but with this kind of game against the pitcher on the opposite side, any margin for error is going to be a lot slimmer. Jace Martinez will be coming to the plate in just a second, but Landon Birch, senior out of Corning, New York, came in from Old Dominion in the past, and he did pitch against Sam Houston a year ago in game number 1 of the series in Murfreesboro last year. 2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, and no earned runs given up. He's got 30 innings pitched this season, a 3.90 ERA, 4-3 record, and has 30 strikeouts to his name. He does have 2 saves this season, and he's trying to help MTSU crawl their way back into this contest late here in the Lone Star State. Jace Martinez is at the plate, trying to add to the Bearcat lead, and that is a strike. Count goes to 0-1. 12 combined hits in this contest, 7 for Sam Houston, 5 for MTSU. But it seems as though Sam Houston has just been one step ahead so far tonight. Counts 1-0. Breaking ball by Birch, a little bit high. Count goes to 2-0. And we did see a hit earlier from Martinez, an RBI single back in the 4th inning. Followed directly after Kirby Orth's 1-1 pitch. And that pitch is just wide. Count goes to 2-1. Jerry Myers ejected from the ball game after he argued a call earlier. If you're just joining us, there have been a lot of wild storylines taking place through tonight's game. It's been one to remember. MTSU hoping to remember it for a different reason when all's said and done. Here's a ground ball right to Von Dolan. Throws over to first and gets the out. A 5-3 on Jace Martinez. And that was a very nice job by Von Dolan to grab that ball because it had some really high velocity on it as it streaked towards him on the ground. Turf infield, of course, here in Huntsville, Texas at Don Sanders Stadium. Ryan Frandon will come to the plate. Number 1 man in the order. Already has a solo home run tonight. But this is his first time facing Birch. Places a pitch wide. Count goes to 1-0. And, of course, Birch being one of the better bullpen guys that MTSU has at their disposal, showing you that they very much believe they still have what it takes to win this game. Of course, you never give up on a game. But down 3 runs, we've seen this team generate big scoring stretches before. And I'm sure they think that if they can get a little bit of a run going in the 8th and 9th inning against maybe a bit of a worn-out Ryan Peterson, this game can turn on its head. 1-1, that breaking ball is outside. Count goes to 2-1. And you know that in spite of how great he's been, Peterson is going to be approaching the wall at some point. And maybe that's when you're able to take advantage to some degree. Again, it's a bit of a long shot, but there is still an opportunity very much for MTSU to steal a win in Game 1. Still searching for their first CUSA Road Series win of the season. They didn't get one last year either, as that's fouled back, counts 2-2. In fact, they not won a Road Series period since 2024. That last one was against Jacksonville State in Alabama. Counts at 2-2, but they feel as though this weekend is the time to change that. They feel as though they can compete with this Bearcat team, and they can reinforce their spot in the standings and pick up that needed bit of momentum on the road. Not looking good right now, but still a chance here in game one. 2-2. This is fouled right into the netting. And again, Ryan Frandon not going down easily. He's 1 for 3 tonight, but we know the explosiveness. We've already seen it in this game, and this is a guy who's not going to relinquish his time all that simply. Count is at 2-2. Pitch on the way from Birch. Lifted high and deep to left field. It's back near the wall, and it's going to land off of the wall and up over the wall for a ground rule double. So Ryan Frandon, not quite a home run, but he does lay the hammer down for a massive ground rule double here in this bottom half of the 7th inning. It had a heck of a lot of distance on it, and that moonshot almost was his second solo home run of the game. Nowak and Brewer tried to make a play on it, but it was just hit perfectly into the gap. Nothing that they could do. So Frandon is at second, Bearcats with a runner in scoring position, and now Jarrett Curtis comes to the plate. He's got a single tonight. Got it back in the first inning, the first hit of the game, as a matter of fact. Swing and a miss here on this pitch by Birch. Nice breaking ball by Landon. Count goes to 0-1. Jarrett Curtis, of course, leads the team in several categories. Senior out of Cypress, Texas. Transferred in to Sam Houston from Missouri, where he took a red shirt last year, only played 3 games. And here's a moonshot. High fly ball to left center. Nowak is there and makes the catch deep near the track and is able to get the ball out quickly to make sure that Frandon can advance to third. 2 away. So not much success for the Tiger transfer on that play. And that'll send the next man up for Sam Houston, Cade Corcoran. He's flown out a ball twice in this game. Did reach on a walk back in the first. Flew out a ball to left in the 5th. Flew a ball out to center in the 3rd. Lefty batter here has Frandon currently at second. 2 away for Birch and MTSU. Birch, breaking ball. Oh, what a beauty. A great curveball to make it an 0-1 count. Hit it right above the bat of Corcoran. MTSU trying to will their way back into this game. Landon Birch showing you his electric stuff. 0-1. And that pitch is low. Minnick does a good job to get back into throwing stance just in case. With how opportunistic this Sam Houston team is. Don't want to take any chances. Of course, Landon Birch, as a junior, had 3 saves last year to lead the team. 37 and a third innings pitched. Wealth of experience. And just fired in another strike to make it a 1-2 count. 6'4", 200 pounds. A man who's done a lot of good stuff at MTSU, now trying to help them make a memorable comeback here in the Lone Star State on a Friday night in late April. 1-2. That pitch is a little bit low. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And of course, if you're Landon Birch, you may want to go back to that breaking ball here. That's been maybe your most effective pitch so far in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see what he decides to roll with. 2-2. And here's a ball hit out towards left and fouled. Driven high and deep by Corcoran, but couldn't get the direction on it. Another 2-2 coming up. Blue Raiders have not yet picked up a series win or even a road conference win this season. 2-2. Ground ball fouled to the right of the first base bag. But they have made comebacks before, most of the time at home. They have picked up 2 road wins this season in midweek matchups. And we've mentioned it, they've played some of the toughest teams in the conference on the road, like Missouri State, Jacksonville State, Louisiana Tech. So it has been some of the best that they've had to go up against. 2-2. And that breaking ball a little low from Birch. And the count will run full at 3-2. Tried to fit it right beneath the bat of Cade Corcoran, but couldn't get it to fall. So a big payoff pitch coming up. Here's the 3-2. And that is too far inside, almost hit Corcoran. It is ball 4, and there are runners now at first and second for the Bearcats. First walk issued by Birch in this game. Nathan Fink will come to the plate. Still 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And I think if you're MTSU, even just from a mental perspective, you do not want to give up another run here. 3, and this is just me talking from a mental perspective, but 3 feels a lot more attainable than 4 for whatever reason tonight. Especially if Peterson's going to stay on the mound. Fastball in for a strike here, counts 0-1. Breaking ball, check it. But for whatever reason, it just feels like you've got a little more wiggle room if it's only a 3-run deficit. 0-1 pitch coming up. And that will be just wide. There was an appeal to the first base umpire, but the count stays at 1-1. This Sam Houston team trying to rebuild after last year's dreary season. And you can tell this is a rejuvenated roster with how they're playing tonight against this Blue Raider squad. 1-1, foul ball. Count goes to 1-2. Looked entirely different from the way they did a year ago. They were 12-43 last year, 9-21 at home, 2-19 on the road in total. But it's a different Bearcat squad tonight, and they have come with revenge on the mind. One-two pitch from Birch, another foul ball. He was taking a look at Frandon over at second, who had a pretty good leadoff. He and Corcoran have stolen a combined 6 bases, so they're not the most explosive stolen base guys on this Sam Houston roster, but they do have the capability. We'll see if they want to attempt something here. Birch trying to get out of this 7th inning. Sam Houston making him earn it, though. 1-2. Ground ball to short. Throw to second in time for the out at second base on Corcoran. And that will do it for out number 3 and for the 7th inning. Middle Tennessee keeps it at 3-0. Sam Houston strands a couple of runners. And the Blue Raiders give themselves a bit of a better chance going into the top half of the 8th inning. Back in 1 minute, here to the Lone Star State on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Top of the 8th inning between the Sam Houston Bearcats and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Dylan Simmons on the call from Texas tonight, and hope you're having a great time enjoying the broadcast. I appreciate you listening in, and hope you're enjoying what I'm bringing to the table on this Friday night. Looking forward to the games tomorrow and on Sunday. You'll also hear me again for the FIU series in Miami, so looking forward to that as well. But let's focus on the here and now Top half of the 8th inning, MTSU trying to make a comeback down 3-0, and it's Brett Von Dolan at the plate, the number 8 man in the order for the Blue Raiders. Watches this pitch go by, and it's in for a strike. Counts 0-1, and guess what? Ryan Peterson still on the mound, 84 pitches in, 7 innings in, no problem for one of the best pitchers in the country. This ball is popped up by Von Dolan. It's going to land somewhere in the bleachers after it bounces off the roof of the MTSU dugout. Fan comes up with it. Congrats to them. Count goes to 0-2. Von Dolan hitless in this game so far. Right behind him is Clay Badalak, who's 2 for 2. Got a single his last time up, but then got thrown out as he tried to take second base on a throw from Sean Basmore, the right fielder. So try not to hit to right field, I guess, if you can help it. 0-2. Here's the ball lifted towards right field and foul ground, and the catch will be made by the first baseman, Cade Corcoran, for out number 1. So again, it just continues for MTSU. Cannot quite get a full charge into the ball against Peterson. Now 7 1/3 innings in, and just continuing to pick him up and put him down against MTSU. And it'd be hard for you to believe with how he's playing tonight and how he's played all season that he's only 4 for 4 on the season. Just goes to show you the quality of competition in Conference USA and who the Bearcats have had to face off against. Clay Badalak at the plate, 2 for 2 night so far. He's got Owen Nowak on deck, but the 9-hole hitter who I described as sneaky good at the start of the broadcast, he's been very visibly good tonight. This pitch from Peterson wide, count goes to 1-0. But Clay Badalak has that belief in himself and in this team to make the comeback happen. Pitch here is wide, count goes to 1-1. Badalak, of course, came in here 3 years ago to MTSU. Counts at 1-2 now from Frontier Community College, debuted in 2024 for the Blue Raiders. Season high 2 hits and 2 runs against New Mexico State on March 27th and 28th respectively. 1-2, Badalak, swing and a miss, and strikeout number 8 for Ryan Peterson. My goodness, what a night that this guy continues to have against MTSU. And he delivered another brutal fastball against Badalak to get that strikeout. Nowak comes to the plate. Blue Raiders now with 2 outs in this top half of the 8th inning. And if they give up an out here with Nowak, they're only going to have 3 more outs to work with in the top of the 9th, as that pitch is in for a strike, and the count goes to 0-1 against Nowak. Ryan Peterson, you can tell he's got the will and determination to make this a quick top of the 8th, but a line drive into left field is going to have something to say about that. Owen Nowak with his second hit of the night, and it's a big 2-out single here in the top half of the 8th inning. Maybe that'll get things kick-started for MTSU. That's hit number 6 on the night so far. Gotten several hits, they just haven't been able to capitalize on them when they've gotten runners on the base path. Kind of the opposite of what we saw last weekend back in Murfreesboro when Delaware was in similar situations, couldn't quite make the best of it. Lane Akers is at the plate now. 0 for 3 night for him. Fastball by Peterson in for a strike. Counts 0-1. Lane's been terrific throughout this middle part of the season. However, tonight against Peterson, it's just been a different story. Ryan Peterson has had his number so far. 0-1. And that pitch just a little inside on the off speed. Count goes to 1-1. Lane Akers, you could argue he's been one of the best hitters in the conference since taking over as the DH. Of course, his father, Chuck, former Blue Raider legend. Record for most games played in a career at MTSU, as that's fouled back by Lane. His mother, Blair, also ran track and cross country at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. So it's a very athletic family, obviously. And their son, Lane, trying to make Mama and Papa proud tonight. 1-2 pitch. Akers Digs at it, swing and a miss, and that will be strike number 3. And strikeout number 9 for Ryan Peterson on the night to end the top half of the 8th inning. What a special performance by this veteran Bearcat pitcher. And that sends us to the bottom of the 8th. Sam Houston shutting out the Blue Raiders right now, trying to add some insurance in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Hey, Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to Texas. Dylan Simmons on the call here in Huntsville tonight. Blue Raiders down 3-0 to the Sam Houston Bearcats at Don Sanders Stadium. Bottom half of the 8th inning is coming up. MTSU still with actually making a pitching change. I thought that Landon Birch was going to stay out there, but Colin Kerrigan is on the mound now for the Blue Raiders. So Landon Birch's night will end after a pretty quick outing, but a solid outing nonetheless. Birch in this game ended up going for 1 inning pitched with 1 hit, no earned runs given up, so not a bad inning of work. Now Kerrigan is on the mound, and the southpaw with a 6.20 ERA on the season, 3-2 record to boast. Trying to help MTSU to keep this at a 3-0 game going into the top of the 9th and give the team a little bit of hope. Kerrigan, junior out of Nashville, had a season-high 3 innings against St. Bonaventure, 4 strikeouts against New Mexico State back on March 27th, and is trying to do some damage against Sean Bazemore and the rest of this order for Sam Houston. Bazemore, the number 5 man in the order, the right fielder tonight for the Bearcats. You could argue that he has robbed the Blue Raiders of what could have been a couple runs. Took out Brett Rogers as he was trying to take third, and took out Clay Badalak as he was trying to get second on a single, thanks to his brilliant throws from right field back into the infield. Here's a strike here from Colin Kerrigan. Count goes to 1-1. Bearcats looking for win number 19 on the season and win number 8 in CUSA play. Strike 2 for Kerrigan on a nice off-speed pitch. Blue Raiders looking for win number 22 on the year with win number 9 in CUSA play. Trying to reinforce their 6th spot in the CUSA standings. 1-2 pitch from Kerrigan. Swing and a miss, and that'll be a big strikeout to start things off for Colin Kerrigan against Sean Bazemore. That's how you inspire some confidence in the bottom half of the frame. So that will take out Bazemore and lead to us having one away in this bottom of the 8th. And we'll see Wes Baker come on for Sam Houston now with 1 down. Pitch from Kerrigan. It's a fastball that's fouled. Count goes to 0-1. 90 miles per hour off the arm of Colin Kerrigan. Baker 1 for 3 on the night. Got a single back in the 4th, an RBI single as a matter of fact. Struck out looking in the 2nd and flew a ball out to left in the 6th. Count goes to 0-2. And now Baker trying to avoid being struck out for the 2nd time tonight. Actually, just a single for Baker, not an RBI single. Did want to clarify that. 0-2 pitch. Inside, almost a hit-by pitch. As Kerrigan almost caught Baker in the knees. So the count will go to 1-2. No matter what, the series will not be decided tonight, but it'll certainly be a big win for either side. What's been at points emotional Friday night series opening matchup. 1-2 pitch. Of course, Jerry Myers, just joining us, was ejected back in the 5th inning after arguing that call against Clay Badalak we talked about earlier, that he thought Badalak made it in safe in time, and with no review, no way to check. Counts at 2-2. And that pitch is inside for ball 3, so the count runs full. Payoff pitch coming up. So MTSU for the last few frames doing what they can without their head coach, Jerry Myers, in the dugout. Payoff pitch. That's ball 4. Kerrigan placed it too high and outside. And Wes Baker will make his way over to first with a 1 out, base on balls. Hunter Alvord comes to the plate for Sam Houston. And Alvord has had a really good night so far, 2 for 2 with a walk, a couple of singles in the 2nd and 4th innings. There's been nothing that MTSU's really been able to do against him, and he's looking to put a cherry on top of what's been a great night already so far here at home. Pitch by Kerrigan inside, and the count goes to 1-0. Looks like Tyler Minnick is going to go have a conversation with Kerrigan. Blue Raiders trying to avoid going down 5-3 in the all-time series against Sam Houston. They've got Western Kentucky, Kennesaw State, the Bearcats, and New Mexico State all behind them in the standings, all of them 7-11 in conference play. A loss tonight would not help MTSU's case. This is in some ways, what feels like a series you need to win to keep pace with those other teams, especially Sam Houston, who's right below you. That's why a lot of people circled this as a critical series for the upcoming CUSA tournament to watch out for. That is chopped and foul to the left of the third base bag. Count goes to 1-1 for Hunter Alvord. But the struggles on the road have continued for MTSU this season, and tonight it's been a variety of circumstances, namely Ryan Peterson's incredible pitching that has put them in this position. And you knew it was going to be tough coming into the game as that pitch was low, counts 2-1, but I think even the most optimistic Sam Houston fan may not have thought that this sort of performance would be taking place. But Peterson's done stuff like this before, and he's picked a bad night to do it for MTSU's sake. Counts at 2-1. And Kerrigan with a nice strike, too. Great fastball, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good news is for the Blue Raiders, no matter what, there will be one more frame to work with at least in the top of the 9th, where the Blue Raiders can maybe make this a little bit more interesting late against the home Bearcats. Counts 2-2, and that almost looked like a hit by pitch. It may have bounced off the ground instead. Looks like it did. Count goes to 3-2. Thought Kerrigan caught Alvord in the left side of the body, but wasn't the case. So 3-2 coming up with 1 out. In danger of walking his second straight batter is Kerrigan, but could get a strikeout as well. And he'll get the strikeout. A great fastball right down the middle from Colin Kerrigan at 89 miles per hour. He catches Alvord looking for his first strikeout of the game. 2 away here in the bottom half of the 8th, and Kirby Orth will come to the plate for the Bearcats. And he's been very aggressive tonight. It's worked sometimes, not so much others. Struck out swinging in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 5th, got an RBI single back in the 4th inning. That really changed the complexion of the game for Sam Houston. There's a strike, counts 0-1. It was that RBI single that ended up allowing Jace Martinez to follow up after the fact and get one of his own, make it a 3-0 game. And both of those came with 2 outs. So if he's instead taken out in that situation, you're looking at an entirely different kind of contest, and who knows where we're at going into the top of the 9th. Instead, the count's 1-1 here, and the Bearcats have a 3-0 lead. Otherwise, though, Orth has been pretty quiet with the 2 strikeouts and a single. 1-1 pitch from Kerrigan, low, and Minnick did a good job to keep it in front of him. A couple of low pitches in this at-bat so far for Colin Kerrigan. Counts at 2-1. Bearcats looking for hit number 9 in this game. They're 8 for 30 so far as a team. And Kerrigan missed the zone. Count goes to 3-1. Yet another situation where you've got a high ball count and a low strike count in an at-bat for Kerrigan to deal with. How will he handle this spot? 3-1. And that's ball 4. 5-pitch walk as he placed it too far to the outside on the off-speed pitch. And moving on to first base will be Kirby Orth for the second time tonight. Jace Martinez will come to the plate. The man who got an aforementioned RBI single a few moments ago. And we'll see MTSU make a pitching change, it appears. And it looks like Colin Kerrigan's night is going to come to an early end. So we'll find out who the new pitcher is for MTSU in just a second. And we'll see if MTSU can potentially make a comeback against the Sam Houston Bearcats back in 1 minute to Texas right here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Dylan Simmons with you on a Friday night. Been a pretty dominant performance so far from the Sam Houston Bearcats, but MTSU trying to make a comeback late. New pitcher on the mound is Cole Cates, the junior, 6'1", 185 out of Bradford, Tennessee. And he is going to be brought in with a 2-out situation in this bottom half of the 8th inning. A couple runners aboard for the Sam Houston Bearcats. And Cates, of course, came in from Dyersburg State in the past. Hasn't pitched as much as some of the other guys on the roster this year, but in his limited performances, he's done a pretty solid job for MTSU. Had an inning pitch versus Tennessee Tech back on Tuesday, as a matter of fact, with 2 strikeouts in that game. In total, he's got 3 innings pitched on the season with 2 earned runs given up, 5 total Ks. So we'll see what Cole's got in store and if he can make this a quick remainder of the bottom half of the 8th inning for Sam Houston. Jace Martinez will come to the plate. Second baseman, of course, got an RBI single back in the 4th inning, which is the last run that either team scored tonight. This pitch by Cates is zipped wide. Count goes to 1-0 on the breaking ball. 4th pitcher of the game for MTSU so far. Started with David Horn Jr., brought in Landon Birch for an inning. Just saw Colin Kerrigan. And now Cole Cates on the mound. Counts at 1-0. And that will be zipped in wide. Count goes to 2-0. In total, Kerrigan in this game for MTSU will end up finishing with 2/3 of an inning pitched and 2 strikeouts, along with 2 walks. Cates places this pitch wide, and just like that, the count is at 3-0. And if you're MTSU, you really do not want to load the bases against Jace Martinez, especially with Ryan Frandon waiting in the wings right behind, back at the top of the order. 3-0 pitch, and Cates will deliver ball 4. A 4-pitch walk on Martinez, and the second straight walk issued by MTSU, their third issued in this inning. And the bases are loaded for Sam Houston with 2 outs. Ryan Frandon will come to the plate. The sands in the hourglass are slipping away for the Blue Raiders. Time is of the essence, even though there's no time in baseball. You feel as though if you give up another walk here and allow a run to come in, it might be game over for this Blue Raider squad. Cates, another low pitch, counts 1-0, tried the fastball. Couldn't get it to land where he wanted. 92 miles per hour off the arm of Cates that time. Cates still has not been able to quite find the spot that he needs. 5 straight balls to start off. 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be outside, or inside rather. Count now at 2-0. Got to be frustrating for a pitcher to have the zone just not be easy to find early on in an appearance, but that's what's happening to Cates here. 2-0, and ball 3, high and outside. And if he issues another walk here, that will bring in a run for Sam Houston on a bases loaded, base on balls for Ryan Frandon. 3-0 pitch, 2 outs, Bearcats trying to stretch the lead. Cates trying to avoid his 8th straight ball, and he does. Nice strike. Caught the inside corner of the plate on a fastball, and that was desperately needed for Cole Cates and MTSU. Let's see if he uses that to his advantage to settle in here and calm this Bearcat storm. Here comes the 3-1, and that's fouled back, so the count goes to 3-2. All of a sudden, Cole Cates has put himself in a situation where he's got a realistic shot of maybe getting out of this bottom of the 8th with no damage, and maybe a strikeout for his troubles against one of the best hitters on the team in Ryan Frandon. Cates was an all-state player at Bradford High School, district pitcher of the year, trying to bring that moxie here tonight to Texas. The 3-2 coming up. This ball popped up and fouled, so we'll try it again. Now a war of attrition taking place between Frandon and Cates. Really fascinating to watch these two guys, especially as Cates has settled in a little bit more in this bottom half of the 8th, starting to get his stuff under control, trying to help his team keep this thing close. 3-2. And that's ball 4, so a run will score for Sam Houston. Coming home and being awarded with the run is Wes Baker. Frandon advances to first, and the Bearcats are now on top by a score of 4-0 here in this bottom half of the 8th inning. Jarrett Curtis will come to the plate with 2 outs and the base is still loaded, and the situation gets tougher for Middle Tennessee. Facing their biggest deficit of the night, Cole Cates trying to consistently find that zone, maybe on his way to doing so. Gets a strike, counts 0-1. If it hadn't been for that 3-0 count we saw a second ago, might have been able to get the out that he needed on Frandon, but it's been tougher. Here's a ground ball to short, throw to second is wide. 1 run comes in, make it 2. The ball rolls all the way to the right field line. O'Neal has to pick it up, and the Bearcats now on top 6-0 with runners at second and third. Oh my gracious, Badalak threw the ball over towards second base and away from Cooper Clapp, and it rolled all the way towards the right field line. O'Neal had to come in to eventually stop it, and the Bearcats have now extended the lead to 6-0. Cade Corcoran will come to the plate. Orth and Martinez scored. Frandon is all the way to third with Curtis at first. Here's a ball popped up by Corcoran into shallow left field, and the catch is made by Nathan Brewer for the out. So the Bearcats put up 3 insurance runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning and seem to be on their way to a victory. Middle Tennessee will try to make one last effort at it in the top of the 9th when we come back on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Womack. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Womack. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Welcome back to Don Sanders Stadium in Huntsville, Texas. We are now approaching the top half of the 9th inning between the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders and the Sam Houston Bearcats. And there is a new pitcher on the mound for Sam Houston, so Ryan Peterson's incredible, exceptional, exhilarating night for Sam Houston comes to an end, and maybe the top pitcher in Conference USA will end his night with 8 innings pitched and 9 strikeouts, no runs given up against MTSU. Pretty solid night for the starting man on the Friday for the Bearcats. Now we'll see if the new man on the mound, Zach Johnson, out of the bullpen, can finish the job against MTSU with his team up 6-0 out of Shiner, Texas. Played at St. Paul High School and transferred in from Temple College. 6 feet tall, 205 pounds, a 3.65 ERA, 24 2/3 innings pitched. This will be his 20th appearance of the season. One of the highest save totals in Conference USA with 4 so far. His season high is 3 innings pitched, which he got against against New Mexico State back on April 17th, a weekend ago in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Cooper Clapp will come to the plate. Middle Tennessee's got 3 more outs to try to see if they can make a miracle comeback in this top of the 9th, down 6 runs to the, tonight at least, impressive Sam Houston Bearcats. Clapp will watch the first pitch come in for a strike, and the count goes to 0-1. Of course, we know that Johnson's got a great fastball, mixes in the breaking ball well, and he'll be a tough guy for any of these batters for MTSU to deal with. 3, 4, 5 due up on the order. That play we saw a few moments ago that scored the 2 runs for Sam Houston, by the way, was scored in a very awkward fashion, but it had to be because of the weird situation. Curtis officially reached on a fielder's choice, and the runs scored by Kirby Orth and Jace Martinez were both unearned. So that's how that officially goes down on an E6. Counts 2-1. And this pitch will be low by Zach Johnson. Did say earlier that if MTSU could outlast Ryan Peterson possibly, then they could at least give themselves an opportunity. Peterson made it through 97 pitches, by the way. 3-1. Check swing, strike 2. And that's a bit more of what Sam Houston was looking for from Zach Johnson. Had 21 appearances last year as well with 23 strikeouts. Spent 2 past years at Temple College. Payoff pitch. And that's ball 4. So MTSU will get a runner on base with Cooper Clapp. No out walk for the Blue Raiders, and Clapp over at first. It's maybe the start of something more for MTSU in this top of the ninth. Tyler Minnick will come to the plate. Struck out looking his last time up in the 6th inning. Flew a ball out to right in the 3rd and reached on a walk in the 2nd. He's got Clapp over at first. Got to be careful here to not ground out into a double play possibly. Pitch is high from Johnson, and the count will move to 1-0. Tyler Minnick in the cleanup spot tonight, as he's usually been as of late. Facing a 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-1 on a great Zach Johnson fastball. By the way, Temple College is not Temple University, for those wondering. Different college overall. Count will go to 1-1 against Tyler Minnick. Swing and a miss. And the count will even officially at 2-2. They had it put up on the scoreboard wrong. So there was the reason for the delay. Clapp still at first. He has stolen 7 bases this season. He won't need to steal base this time, though. A great drive into center field by Tyler Minnick. And he's got a no-out single in the top of the 9th. Now 2 runners aboard for MTSU against Zach Johnson and Sam Houston. And maybe the Bearcats bullpen being tested just a little bit here. Cooper, Clapp, and Minnick are on. That will send on Brett Rogers for MTSU. Grounded out to 3rd his last time up. And all of a sudden, the Raiders' hopes heighten just a little bit. Still a long way to go, but this is certainly a good start. Rogers, ground ball up the middle for another base hit. And all of a sudden, the bases coming home and scoring for MTSU will be Clapp. Thought he was going to stay at 3rd. He ended up coming home, and he took home plate to make this a 6-1 game. Fooled me on an RBI single for Rogers. So the Blue Raiders have brought it to a 5-run game. Jay Sirianni's going to make his way out of the dugout. And he's going to talk to Zach Johnson. At least. We'll see if he wants to make a pitching change in this situation. There is a little bit of action in the Sam Houston bullpen, so there is the possibility that we could see a change if this gets any worse for Sam Houston. But after the RBI single from Brett Rogers, you're still up by 5 runs, even with no outs, so I'd imagine they're not feeling super concerned at the moment, but obviously not ideal. Dean O'Neill will come to the plate. That was some speedy running by Clapp. Again, thought he was going to stay at 3rd with where the ball was, but he decided to come on home, and he ended up getting that decision correct. O'Neill's had a tough night, 0 for 3 so far. He's got Minnick at 2nd and Rogers at 1st. This pitch will come in low, and the count will move to 1 ball and no strikes. O'Neill with a .320 batting average on the season. Among many other great statistics. Swing and a miss here, though, and the count will go to 1-1. For whatever reason, just hasn't been able to get anything. All of that against Ryan Peterson, though. Zach Johnson, a bit of a different animal to face off against when it comes to this Bearcats team. Middle Tennessee's had success so far. O'Neill, chopper left side to 3rd. That's 1 out. Throw to 1st will not be in time. So O'Neill will get to first base on a fielder's choice. Minnick is out at 3rd, and Brett Rogers now at 2nd. So 2 still aboard, for MTSU. But the leadoff runner, Tyler Minnick, now out. Nathan Brewer will come to the plate. 1 away here in the top half of the 9th. With 1 run on the scoreboard. And Nathan Brewer looking for that game-changing shot that puts the Bearcats on notice. Brewer, a lefty batter. Sends a fly ball high and deep to right center field on a moonshot. Back is Curtis, who makes the catch. Tagging and advancing to third, sliding in will be Rogers, and getting to second just barely is Dean O'Neill, as the ball was thrown back to Jace Martinez from Ryan Frandon, and it almost cost MTSU another base runner. We've seen that sort of situation a few too many times tonight. It wasn't Bazemore, thank goodness, who was making the throw from right field at least, but it was almost a desperate situation. Still, though, 2 outs now, and Nathan Brewer out, so Brett Von Dolan will come to the plate, representing what could be the last hope for MTSU in this game to keep this one alive against Sam Houston. Von Dolan popped one up to the first baseman his last time up. 0 for 3 so far tonight. Here's a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. 1 run's gonna come in. Rogers scores. O'Neill around. He'll get in as well. It's a bases clearing RBI double on a ball that went all the way to the left field corner for Brett Von Dolan. What a massive turn of momentum for MTSU, and how about Vondo making big business happen in the top of the 9th. It is a 6-3 Bearcat lead now, but 3 runs from MTSU, and they're not out of it yet. Clay Badalak will come to the plate, and he's had some big shots tonight, 2 for 3 so far, with a runner in scoring position. This ball fouled right on top of the net, and it is gonna stay there. I don't think I've ever seen something like that. It's on top of the netting that protects the fans from oncoming foul balls. Counts at 0-1. This ball popped up into shallow left center. Shortstop chasing after it, and making the catch will be Alvord, and that will do it for this one. The Sam Houston Bearcats pick up a 6-3 win over the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, despite a tough late effort from MTSU, putting 3 runs on the board in the top half of the 9th inning. But a great pitching performance from Ryan Peterson, and Sam Houston as a whole is the difference tonight in the series opener here in Huntsville, Texas. And Middle Tennessee's hopes for a road Conference USA win will have to wait another day, as this night belongs to the Bearcats. Middle Tennessee will drop to 21-21 overall, 8-11 in conference play, while Sam Houston will drop to will rise to 19-23, 8-11 in conference play as well. Both teams now tied in the conference standings, and a lot still left to be determined between these two squads. We will play game number 2 tomorrow, right back here, and it should be a fantastic one between these two teams, as MTSU will be looking to get some measure of revenge and still try to pick up a road series victory against this Bearcat squad. We'll be live on the air at 1:45 tomorrow here on WGNS, as well as the Blue Raider Network, so make sure you